know, but here we go. We're going to start now. Yeah, about now. Shut up. I think the kid too. I miss the Soviet Union so much. That's God, by the way. He's programming the world. See, the early versions didn't go well. I know, let's just put people on it. I like how one of his eyes is like, has a pupil and the other one doesn't. And then Jesus and Lucifer are chasing each other in the background. One of them's holding the Holy Grail.
Space, the boundary of human achievement, the new frontier.
By the way, complete accident that the balloon was right where he was coughing.
Yeah, right.
Complete accident in the transition.
Treat your cough seriously with Robitussin CF Max. Nothing lasts longer and treats.
Hey, I know that
for your
Pfizer
cough,
company.
cold, and
What else
flu.
did they do?
Robitussin, because
I
it's
can't
never
put my
just the
finger
cough.
on it.
In a few moments, you will have an experience which will seem completely real. It will be the result of your subconscious fears transformed to your conscious awareness. Warning, this tape must not be played by government personnel. It can be extremely harmful and result in severe trauma. You have 5 seconds to terminate this tape. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Still, to this day, no one has come forward to take credit for this. Don't know who they are. That was one of the worst things Elon ever said. Ever. Yeah. This is from an obscure UK movie called River Nine.
Billy punk who thinks the world's still round. I'm here to tell you it's not. It's flat.
Oh, okay. That's fine. If they'll only hear me. Super Bowl commercial.
Okay. The Earth is flat, and a witch stole his pants.
Flat Earth expert
Not a
Myres
Super Bowl
thinks
commercial.
the moon landing was a hoax.
Technically, the moon itself is a hoax.
Right, but betting with Sportsbet's new iPhone app?
I could do this standing on my head.
Thanks, Gravity. Sportsbet's new iPhone app. It's
Hold on.
foolproof.
I know how we're different.
Yeah, that was easy money.
Flat?
I know it's flat. I walk on it.
Holy
Snoop Dogg.
It's a flat world.
That was. The first one was. Peanut.
Smoke weed every day.
It's definitely the triple digits, but I don't know exactly. It's a ridiculous number. Find that out from before we can.
Broadcasting straight to you from a large spaceship currently at war with mainstream science. Meanwhile, the peanut gallery is glad that life is a ball again, and he knows what laughter is calling for you. So, time to come and dance on our floor. Just make sure you knock on the door first. Yes, that was Peanut doing the lyrics from Three's Company, wonderful 70s and early 80s show, backwards. Welcome to Strange World, where the truth is often stranger than fiction. I'm your host, Mark Sargent, the creator of Flat Earth Clues, which proposes that all of us are living inside a Truman Show enclosed structure thousands of miles wide. Just Google Flat Earth Mark. If you can't find it, well, you're just not very good at the internet. Currently, the show is on Tuesday nights at 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern, and yes, Caroline, if it is not August 27th, 2024, you are listening to a rerun. Don't forget the show can be found on BitChute and Brighteon, Rockfin, and Rumble. YouTube is not the end of Flat Earth. It is only the beginning. Quote of the day goes exactly like these show format changes effective tonight. First, any packages that you send to me at 2125 Myres Lane, Langley, have to be Flat Earth related in order for me to show them on the show. I appreciate everything else, but sometimes it's too much and changes the flow of the program, so I hope you understand. Second, there will only be one commercial break at the top of the hour, which of course will be the Flat Earth app. The burger commercial is now officially retired. The original has been a separate video on my channel for a few years, and if you're not hungry enough, you can always watch it there. Finally, and actually, Patricia probably appreciates it, being vegan. Finally, for the next few weeks, we will only be taking calls in the last half hour of the show, and we will be looking for new callers only, which means anyone that has been on the sidelines has their chance to be heard. So don't waste it, will you? Stalkers, yeah, you can apply. I was going to say need not apply, but please, we need more stalkers. My co-hosts are in the upper left, the perfect Patricia Steer, and in the upper right, DJ Curious, the delightful. Hey guys, what's happening?
Hey.
Oh. Uh-oh, Patricia's mic. Oh no. DJ, go ahead, say hey.
I was trying to do ladies first, of course, because the one and only Patricia Steer is with us tonight, and I'm so grateful to be here as the new co-host and look forward to a good time.
Wonderful. Patricia?
What I was trying to say before I rudely interrupted myself by muting my own mic because my cats are meowing was I'm okay with playing Three's Company with you two as long as I can be Mrs. Roper.
Oh, that would mean that I would either be Jack and DJ would be Larry, although I think Jack is cuter, so DJ is going to be Jack and I'll be Larry.
Right.
Yeah, the sleazy neighbor that comes by every once in a
Mrs. Roper had caftans, I think, long, flowy, weird. When you're really old, that's what you wear because your body's kind of bad and you want to cover it.
Yeah, she wore those.
But you know what? She probably wasn't that old. But when I remember watching the show, she appeared old. But I bet if we checked her age, I might be older than her now. So.
Well, it's definitely like a growing Flat Earth family, so I'm just happy to be here.
No, you're wonderful. Patricia didn't have the chance to meet you at Flattoberfest in Vegas, but a lot of other people did, and you're a wonderful addition, DJ. And again, you're young enough to be I was going to say adopted child, but that sounds a bit illegal, so we're going to go with...
What about Wayfair stored in furniture child? No? Too soon or too late?
We found him in a basket.
Yeah, like a box of kittens.
There you go.
Or like a stray box of kittens on Flattoberfest going, what am I doing with my life, guys? I can't believe I'm here. And, I met all the right people at the right time, which just gave me so much energy. And I look at us more like the Flat Earth Gilligan's Island. Maybe we're collecting a few more.
There you
go. I like it.
Patricia's our Ginger Rogers. Mark is our captain. And I guess that makes me Gilligan right now.
Wow.
Don't get me started on Gilligan's Island and the brilliance of it.
I love watching old episodes recently.
I really do like that show. And DJ, you are wearing Hawaiian style shirt today, kind of.
It's got some flowers on there, yep.
It's kind of, yeah.
Peanut Gallery says that the sync currently says good. If our lips and voices do not sync up for whatever reason, chat, please let us know. But right now, Peanut is giving us the thumbs up. Absolutely thumbs up. And by the way, I want to mention, because you know me, I love trivia. that the depth of Gilligan's Island. I just want to mention this. You guys don't understand. People think, oh, it's just this 60s, this fun little concept. Oh, no. It was the 7 deadly sins. If you guys look closer, there's web pages dedicated to it.
I've heard you say this before.
Yeah.
Okay, so the captain was sloth. Got to be.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Captain was sloth.
All right. Ginger was like vanity.
Yep.
Mary Jane was
envy, because she envied Ginger.
Envy. Oh, really?
Mary Ann.
Okay.
Mary Jane.
Okay.
Where's
Mary
your
Ann,
where's
not
your
Mary
head
Jane.
at, druggie?
Well, but she could have been a Mary Jane. That's that kind of name.
There you go.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Innocent.
She wore a lot of like flannel
and polka dots. And what
every man will say that's the woman you want to marry.
Lie. Frickin' lie. And me being so
Victor Rogers was so cute. I mean, I had no idea how actually beautiful she was. I was just such a kid when that was on TV, but looking back, she's stunning. So good one, Patricia.
Dawn Wells was Marianne. Dawn, I think that's her.
And she's still alive. The 2 women are still alive, as far as I know. They were the
And everyone said Ginger. I forgot her name was like really not very nice.
Tina Louise.
Tina Louise.
Yeah.
A lot of people said behind the scenes.
Gilligan.
Oh yeah. Sorry. The professor was arrogance, science. Thurston.
Oh, interesting.
Thurston Howell III, of course, was greed. And who am I missing? Lovey. His wife was.
Enablement, is that one of the sins?
No, I can't remember what she was off the top of my head. Let's see. Pride, lust, envy, greed, gluttony, sloth. Anyway, well, she was one of them. And here's the thing: one of them had 2, and Gilligan was the devil.
Oh, that's interesting.
Wearing red, and it was purgatory, and he was the one that was constantly keeping them tortured on the island. He was the one that was always, making their lives miserable. So there you go.
That's interesting. Are we going to talk about Donald Trump being the Antichrist today in this show, or is it not?
We could mention that, but I don't know if we're. I don't know.
We have to move it toward conspiracy, then to flat Earth eventually.
Oh wait! You know what? I forgot about the obligatory stuff. We're still stuff that we
were too excited to get going.
Oh no! I know. Hey, sometimes it's hard because you guys, nobody likes talking to you. It's hard to find flat Earth friends, but there's an easy way to find cool people like yourself and solid info about our stationary horizontal level plane. Solution is simple. It's the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. Watch the featured video every day for 2 weeks. See what happens. It'll be the best $2.99 you've ever spent. Oh, so sleepy. And because it's 10 p.m. on the East Coast, it's time to say goodnight to one of our listeners, Paige. She just put on her Casper the Friendly Ghost pajamas.
Oh.
I know, right? Which is
I love that show.
Well, dark when you think it's a child that was killed. Got a cup of cocoa with exactly 6 tiny marshmallows, and we'll probably listen to the playback in the morning. There was a comedian that did like a whole riff on this.
By the way,
Good night,
I
Paige.
loved that as a child, and I never thought about the fact that the ghost was a dead child.
Yeah, it was a dead child. Sorry.
You ruined my
Sorry,
childhood.
I am so sorry, but it's true. It's like, by the way, yeah, and so you wonder what killed him, right? Because he was a freaking child, and there wasn't
Probably
just
his
him; it was a whole
parents.
bunch of them.
Shaken baby syndrome. Probably something really horrible.
That's awful.
I'm sure that's what it was.
Shout-outs, obviously, to Flathers or Stephen Carpenter of the Deftones, one of the few celebrities to actually come out of the closet. We need more. Support the Flat Earth cause and get the coolest hoodies ever. Go to thestrong.family. Won't you pick up some merch? Shout out to Zulu1, longtime listener of the show, for doing a simulcast stream on his channel, Zulu1. He won't be doing the simulcast tonight, so everyone's going to have to come over here some other stream.
Why not? He okay?
Oh, he got a guideline violation.
Oh, yeah, he courts those by writing absolutely true but yet very brutal things.
If you get a guideline violation, I got a copyright strike recently from the Seattle Mariners because one of the Mariners came out as one of us, and I posted it, and then they hit me because I was using 30 seconds of their freaking content.
Wow.
But Zulu got hit because, he hates everybody, including all demographics. And he said something, I think, disparaging towards the Eskimos. That's a lie. I'm totally making that up. No, I'm kidding. I have no idea who he said.
Well, I mean, I've read some of the things he said, and I agree with all of them, but he gets strikes for it. But my strike on my channel, Patricia Steer, is about ready to come off. September 15th, I got a community guideline strike because medical misinformation for re-uploading a video from 2015 where vaccines were mentioned.
Yeah.
And I've uploaded many old shows on my channel, Patricia Steer. There's nothing there but old shows. So soon to be, there will be live new shows.
And I'd like to thank you for my last, well, they're not guideline strikes. I got hit for old. If you get
Because of me?
Yeah, because it was always old content before the pandemic, and we were probably talking about the MMR, which we're not supposed to. Hey, safe and effective, kids. And
Get to today.
It's so freaky that word is like a kill switch. Ooh, but
safe and effective.
I'm not cool enough to have any strikes, so you guys are just bad kids.
Oh, you wait.
Just the bad kids in the biz.
You wait, my son. You'll get some before it's over. My guideline strike will come off in like 5-6 weeks, or 7 weeks. Meetups. Let's rally these off really fast. Flat Earth meetup. I can't wait to watch the meetup. Nathan Oakley was at the West UK meetup in the West.
UK?
Yeah, exactly. UK. I was trying to think West British Isle. Not. Then I was going to make something insulting like Ireland, Scotland. What's the difference? And then people would like write in and be like, "Oh my god." He did a thing where he was a guest and he spoke. I don't think he does many of those, so I can't wait to see what he did. I want to watch it because, as you know, normally he just yells at people.
No, I've seen him at a meetup. He held a really nice meetup at Leamington Spa, which isn't a spa, but it's in the town of Leamington.
That's true.
This was quite a while ago, and I went to it actually. And he has spoke at events before, and he's a very good speaker.
You and I met him in person, not separate.
He does
separately.
actually yell at people, but they generally deserve
I know.
it. So I'm all for it.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Flat Earth Meetup, Atlantic City, New Jersey, September 13th. I'm pretty sure Zulu One and Alex Lowry will be there. Alex, of course, does the closing credits for our show. Flattoberfest, Spartanburg, South Carolina, September 27th through the 29th. You can go to flatearthfestivals.com. And a meetup out in Kansas, off in the distance, October 12th. If you guys want me to promote your meetup on my channel, please send me whatever you want. And or if you're shy, just tell me the location, date and time, all the details, and I'll put together a thing and put it on my channel. And don't forget, Patricia and I will be doing a trivia charity event. That's tomorrow on the Melodome channel. You're so doomed.
There is no way. Like
so
it's impossible unless the questions are not the questions that they want to ask. If I can give them some questions, then I might have a fighting chance. But generally speaking, as you're one of those I absorb all media guys, you remember song lyrics, you remember all sorts of quotes from movies, and just pretty much everything, politics, history. I can't. If I get one question right,
it'll be fine.
Scream in ecstasy.
It'll be fine. While
you better go easy on her tomorrow, Mark.
While it is true, when I close my eyes, I see code like Neovision, and that's pretty much every night. I encourage everybody to watch the Melodome thing on Melodome channel, the promos.
Oh, you just want to humiliate me?
No. And message Patricia as fast as humanly possible. And I'm sure it'll be fine. No, it's supposed to look. It's for fun. It's for a good cause. It's to help out. Don't follow Crumb.
I'm not gonna. Was in our live chat earlier, to get a new place. So
there you go.
It's for a good cause. Yeah. It's not just for humiliation of me, but I'm willing to accept that to help out a fellow FE'er.
Groovy.
You're a classy lady, Patricia.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
You better throw the whole thing if you know it's good for you.
All right, I think that's all.
Okay, Mark, actually, what do you forget about? If you remember everything else, is there anything that you're really forgetful of?
Yes.
Right, is there?
Yeah. Oh,
what?
yeah. Well, okay. One, I'm terrible with people's names, which is the worst. It's terrible. I don't.
Good thing our names, DJ, are on the screen.
I have to know you for a while before, but that's just because I talk to enough people that I don't retain it deliberate. My mind doesn't. It's like short-term memory versus long-term memory. And it's nothing offense to everybody. I know faces. So when people say, "Oh, hey, do you remember meeting me at blah blah blah?" I go, "Send me a pic of what you talked about," and that'll really really help. And because I'm not like blind drunk at these things. But that reminds me, DJ, of that stupid.
Would you be someone that forgot about the cookies in the oven and you were like burning them, or would you have to set a timer?
You know, it's funny. It's one of my big fears is putting a kettle on because I can distract myself very, very easily. So, and I make tea by actually putting it on the stove and boiling it on the stove. And one of my big fears is because I'll leave, I'll take off, and then it'll be like, oh crap, did I leave something on the stove? So now I made it a point to where if I leave the room, I turn it off. I'll turn it back on when I come in because I don't want that to be my, it's like, oh hey, you burned the house down because you were an idiot. No.
So you're actually human then. That's all the
dude. No. I have Patricia knows this.
No.
I have airhead moments that are bad.
Good. I hope some of them happen tomorrow on the Mellow Dome show.
In fact, Peanut's nodding his head. He's seen it. I can distract myself to where I can actually watch topics like in the front of my brain just start drifting off to the side, and I'll be like, no, come back. It's not.
Well,
good.
I'm going to be leaning into the airhead role as I get more and more public with this information. So that way, if I ever need to back out, I have a perfect out. It's just...
That's right, because DJ is new. He has not been in it this long. As you know, DJ is out of the flat Earth closet. Not to quote Logan Paul, because whatever. But you and I ran into each other at the a couple of the LA meetups, and then you went to Vegas. And is it true that you might be going to Flatoberfest?
I'm getting more and more interested, especially if I can go there and represent Strange World. I think that's perfect.
Yeah, and it's Karen's last one she's throwing.
That's right.
Maybe somebody else will pick up the mantle, but...
Well, what are the odds that we have a surprise guest appearances by Mark and Patricia?
Not very good.
Not really good. Not really good. And again, that is no...
you're breaking hearts.
No. That is no offense to Karen B or anybody out there,
No.
or the Kakalaki crew. I love Karen to death, and I really love Ted, her boyfriend. But what I meant by that is I've never been an outdoor event guy. And you got to remember, I spent 20 years in Colorado, right? Which was in Boulder, which was right next to Red Rocks, the Red Rocks amphitheater, like one of the premier outdoor amphitheaters. And I hated going to that, even when I got free tickets. I got free tickets for Hootie and the Blowfish and the Beastie Boys. And I went to both of them, and it's like, just don't like it. I like indoor things.
Hot sun now compared to what it was before. I mean, it's not that bad for you.
Okay. No. I'll ask both of you. Would either of you consider Burning Man if you had a free ride?
Never.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Never.
Patricia says never in hell, and DJ is like, wait, have you ever been close to going to Burning Man?
I've been close.
Yeah.
I mean, done Coachella and things like that, and camped, which was a whole experience. But I would do Flatoberfest outside and make the best of it. But I understand, guys. It's okay. And Patricia, your skin is just porcelain. So I have seen you outside.
Thank you.
I was proud of you for doing that one interview with Jane Pauley or whatever.
Yeah. CBS Sunday morning.
You look gorgeous. So, you
thank
you don't have anything to worry about outside either. But Mark, come on.
Okay, well, first off, Patricia in Burning Man. Well, Burning Man's just I have watched enough video on Burning Man over the last X number of years. It just seems you got to be up for it. I mean, you've got to be. And Peanut says he's never ever going because there's too many hippies.
I heard there's a flat Earth camp at Burning Man.
Oh, actually, Peanut says after all the years in the desert, and by that he means the Middle East. Yeah, Burning Man wouldn't be much to him. He'd be like, I'm not impressed. But yeah, Burning Man, it's just, I mean, there's a couple things they don't talk about, which is it's incredibly spread out. Incredibly. So it's like everyone's like, oh no, you have to bring a bicycle. And people are like, come on, no, you have to bring a freaking bicycle.
And then the year when it was all floody and muddy.
Oh yeah, well hell, Alex.
Speaking of mud floods,
Alex Lowry was there. Remember when some of our people had to be like rescued? Was that 2 years ago at Burning Man, where they couldn't get out because of the rain? The RVs couldn't make it past a certain spot.
I like to mentally believe people prepare for that, and when they know what they're getting themselves into, and that it's going to be dusty and dirty and loud.
It could be fun.
Sleep.
If you've got the right mentality for it. If we ever have a flat Earth meetup at like the Ritz-Carlton or something, I'll go to that.
I know that some people...
we should coordinate that for you, darling.
Okay.
I know that some people liked the Vegas, or they thought the Vegas meetup, was too... Patricia and I, again, I'm not shy about talking about this. Patricia and I we were considering the Vegas back in the day, back in 2016.
Before anybody ever had a conference, we came up with the idea to have a conference in Vegas.
Yeah, and then
And what happened?
Chat rooms were shutting us down, saying it's like, oh, you're being all Captain Sellout, Dr. Bring
Sell
Down.
out Vegas. That's an evil place.
Yeah,
Why would you never do that? That's crazy.
Yeah, next.
Cool.
We knew you guys were agents. This was in 2015.
Yeah. And
I completely admire you both for doing that. And I've actually watched it because on Celebrate Truth, Robbie Davidson's channel, he plays it quite often. So I've seen it several different times when the alarm was going off and you guys are all up on stage. And
oh yeah, that was years later.
Oh, that was the Canadian meetup.
Put it on.
Yeah,
right.
That was the.
I'm proud of you both for being so brave and putting yourselves out there. And I'm excited to learn more about each of your journey, and especially you, Patricia. I think the audience has so many great questions about where you've been and what brought you back. So I'm looking forward to getting into all of that. But just how cool is it that you guys have done the meetups? And I do plan to go. And if you haven't been before out there, please don't be shy. I know it's nerve-wracking, but you can do it, and you're going to make so many great friends. So just don't be shy and go out there and do your first Flattoberfest.
I, as you know, like giving credit where credit is due, and Patricia had literally the first meetup in the history of what we've been doing now, the first Flat Earth meetup, which was in
April of 2016.
Was it 2016 or 2015? No, it was 2016. It was 2016 because you were still doing your Stars Are Souls podcast in 2015.
Right, and I think it's April. And I could be wrong there, but whenever Earth Day is, it was on Earth Day, and yours was the day after.
Yeah, mine was right after, and
mine
I
was in Houston, and yours was in
Seattle,
Washington State.
Yeah.
And it's so good. I can't wait to hear how Patricia got into Flat Earth and Mark. But when do we want to get into that? Do you have to do more headlines?
No, we've got, it's an open format at this point.
I'll just say very quickly, I got into Flat Earth because I was looking at lots of other things and had been for several years, trying to figure out what's going on with this world and why it's not really what I thought. And of course, 9/11 and many other things. I had started off with things like Alex Jones and David Icke, and then watching things on YouTube. And when you watch things on YouTube like that, one video at the time, when the algorithm worked that way, led to another. And one day there was this thing called a Flat Earth clue that was up. And I just thought, well, that's kind of dumb. Let me click on it. And it was Mark.
Oh my God.
It's when his clues were being put out individually. And I listened, and I was really mind blown, because the clues weren't all spoon-fed to you. It gave you lots of breathing room to think about what is being said, and then to literally do your own research back when you could easily look things up online.
Yeah.
And I was intrigued and was waiting, as they say, with bated breath for the next clue to come out. And then, of course, as I was waiting for next clues to come out, I was looking around for other similar information. And then when I went through my day, I was thinking, wow, is anybody else thinking about this stuff I'm thinking about? Does anybody else know about this? And I didn't know enough about it to actually start speaking about it. I was only in the very beginning of listening to the clues, but I was really, really drawn to it. And little by little beat back some of my lingering doubts. One of those was satellites. I was not understanding how there could be an industry like people putting up satellites right in my, place where I lived. And them not really being doing what they say that they're doing and communicating with something that's, in low Earth orbit. So I had to figure that out. And just the whole NASA thing, all of it was easy to figure out. But satellites were the one thing for some reason I hung on to. And I think everyone's got the one thing that was a stumbling block. But that was the one for me, and it didn't take long.
Unraveling the mystery. You're unraveling the mystery as time goes on, and there's so many things to look into and to verify. So, okay, that's really interesting, but keep going.
But seeing satellite dishes in your own city, where one's pointed at a brick wall, and then right next to the house next door, that one is broken, and the house next door to that is pointed to the left, and the house next door to that is pointed up in the sky. So what satellite are these pointed at? It doesn't make any sense at all. And once you start seeing that, you say to yourself, wait a minute. They're not pointing at something in low Earth orbit. And if it was in low Earth orbit, how is it standing still to give me the satellite TV 24/7 anytime I flip it on? Isn't it moving? Or how is it working? Is it tethered? How do they? It all sounded dumb once you started looking into it.
How do they? How do they lock onto your signal? How does it not get crossed? I mean, those are all things that. Still, but that is a big one that most people get hung up on, that I've tried to explain Flat Earth to. for example, my mom or something, she's so convinced, but what about, cruise ships over the ocean and they don't have signal if you're in direct contact with those satellites? Or what about in the mountains? So there's little clues. And as you learn more about ground cables and how internet ether is all basically under the oceans, and most people don't know that that is the truth. It's not common knowledge. And that's what was a mystery, unraveling the mystery for me. Yeah, exactly. Those things. And once you do unravel it, it gives you this weird, powerful feeling of it's almost like being reborn. Well, that sounds religious. I don't mean that way, but you get this feeling of seeing life with new eyes. Absolutely. And it doesn't become depressing, although you're kind of a loner in the beginning because you don't know anybody else who thinks like you do. You feel very excited about the world and figuring out what's really going on. And of course, that can be a really long, dark tunnel from which there is no escape. But it somehow made me happy. And here I am. Cool. That's beautiful. And that's so cool. And it's a similar thing for me too. And that's why I am also here. Because at the end of the day, once you get through the dark part where you realize so much deception, there's so much deception out there, and it can be scary as you're researching these topics and figuring out lie after lie after lie. When you finally get to a point of truth and you're standing on solid ground, and you're just, for me, it was believing that there could be a creator right above me, right beyond the stars, and that just made the earth so special. And learning about geocentrism sealed the deal for me. It was literally something I could not ignore. Yeah. And I love it. I love the truth, feeling like it's the truth. It doesn't make any sense that looking into the fact that everyone has lied to you all of your life since you were born, even people well-meaning like your teachers and perhaps your parents. Right. But it gives you a sense of freedom and a sense of belonging to something bigger. And, it's also fun. It's strange. It's a very strange reaction where we really should be, on the floor, rocking back and forth autistically and crying. Really. I mean, when you look at all of, the recent event with Trump, I mean, the fake shooting of his ear, and everybody I know believes he was shot in the ear. Everybody I know doesn't understand that no way you could be shot in the ear like that and have no wound in 2 days, absolutely not even a scar or a scrape. But everyone believes it. And when you see this sort of thing, you think, wow, people are really lost. How are we ever going to wake people up to flat Earth when they still believe that entire Trump thing was real? Huh. And then many other things that go on. Like recently, Kamala was filmed somewhere where supposedly she had a big crowd, and there was an airplane reflected in the airplane. You could see the people in front, but when you saw the reflection in the airplane, there was nobody there. So it was being CGI'd in, the crowd. I'm not saying she doesn't get crowds, but I'm saying at this particular picture, we're being lied to again. We're being lied to on the left. We're being lied to on the right. We always have been, but still, I'm happy about it. But there's hope because it points you towards an intelligent designer, and that the earth is the center of creation, and that you're special and every single other person that's here special, and putting aside our differences, you no longer have to put your faith in mankind. You can put your faith in something beyond. And for me, that was what I was searching for. And I think a lot of people out there come to that same realization. Yeah. Right. Very true. You said it so well. And the politicians aren't going to save us. And it's fun to watch the different politicians and the crazy things they do. But but it's nice to know, as weak and ridiculous as they all are on both sides, they're not really in control of this place. And that's a great feeling once you look behind the scenes and find out that they're not. So thank goodness, too. Yeah, was that the energy that you and Mark had then, getting back to your first conference? Because I find that so cool and interesting. Did you feel that momentum of energy at that conference, that you were all waking up to something at the same time? Tell us about how that went, and then how you met Mark. Yeah, I think it was. I think at that conference, there was a lot of hope going on. The very first Flat Earth conference. What do you think, Mark?
Say that one more time. Sorry, I was typing to Peanut in the background. Gotta remember, I'm running the dials.
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
Just was wondering, what were your feelings at the very first conference? DJ was asking, was it a I said
the conference or
excitedness. The conference.
Oh, the conference in the Carolinas, at Raleigh.
Hope and excitement.
Oh yeah, it was. Well, one, it was nervousness. You walk into
that too.
You walk into a big room and you see hundreds and hundreds of empty chairs, right? And all of a sudden, because fear of public speaking is one of the top fears in the world, right? Above spiders and stuff like that. It's pretty up there. And I'd never talked to, I mean, I'd done public speaking in classroom settings for a number of years when I was teaching software, but a group that big, and I'd done meetups, and I realized when I was doing the meetups, when I was just kind of doing improv at the meetups, it's like, this is gonna be a little tricky. So I wanted to make sure my speech was perfect. And if anyone knows me and seen me when I do conferences, I will sit to get comfortable with the room. I will sit in the room for an hour or two, just an empty room, just that room with my text, and I will go over and I go over and I go over it. So even if I do run into a couple brain issues, I can skip past it. So
you don't seem at all, and you didn't the first time you spoke at the first Flat Earth conference, at all nervous, at all unsure of yourself. So whatever you do, whatever your method is,
thank
it works.
you. That is straight up. It's not method, but it is it is hiding. My dad had that as well, because he used to handle labor disputes between unions and management. And if you ever know anything about that, I mean, those rooms are just powder kegs, and he had to be the voice of reason. And my father was not the voice of reason outside of these things. And so, yes, when I'm there, it looks like I'm, people say, oh, you're so low key. Inside, I'm dying. I'm friggin' dying. So anyway, but yeah, nervousness and excitement for meeting everybody, for the first time, meeting Rob Skiba, meeting Bob Nodell, David Weiss in the lobby. You and I, Patricia, had already met,
yes.
but everybody else, it was fun, to meet all these people, and as you know, most of us didn't sleep because the energy in the building was just so, and it just ramped up. And my favorite thing was when the news media that didn't take us seriously the first day, and they had their recon teams out there, usually one person, that were panicking because they didn't have a camera team there. It's like, you've got to get people in there now. So the money that was spent flying people in from different parts of the world. And so by the time the second afternoon into the evening was just nuts. I mean, Patricia, I remember, was it French television?
It was French television.
French television went to your room, did an exclusive thing in your room. I never even watched that interview. I was wearing 3 hot mics simultaneously. I knew that one was German TV. I didn't know who the others 2 were. Camera crews were spinning around each because they don't like filming each other. It was wild.
Because everyone's thinking, look at these crazy people, right? I mean, what were you feeling knowing that the world thinks that it's literally the dumbest possible person on Earth would be a flat earther? Did that affect how you came to this information? I mean, I think that's why most people are in the closet, right? So how did you both handle that?
Well, for me, they were looking for, which is why David was so good about telling people, it's like, nobody come in costume, right? And then Nathan Thompson shows up in freaking costume.
With a big globe on his head.
With a globe on his head with sunglasses. But it was, I mean, we were trying to give it worked very, very well, which was we didn't give the media any ammunition to work with, which was they were looking for dumb people. Again, it's so surreal for media because, like, okay, wait a minute. They can't even be smart enough to drive, let alone get on an airplane. How are they even there, right? And then they're talking to people. It's like, oh no, coherent, and some people did really amazing. Rob,
so good. I mean, Patricia, because I learned about you both from Behind the Curve.
Right.
That was my first introduction to Mark Sargent and Patricia Steer, and I just remember thinking you guys were both so likable. And it was hard for me to understand, watching that going, these people just must be mistaken, or they're choosing to believe something that isn't real on purpose. And that could be seen as crazy. And I think that's what a lot of people, what I'm up against right now. I mean, I had no intention to put my face on camera and be on the show, but because I became friends with Mark and because I love the community, and I just thought, well, why not do it? Why not just be like, not afraid to be laughed at? Right. And so I'm really not. It's just, we need more people to investigate it and keep going, because if the world is not what we're being told and we're being lied to about the shape of the earth, it's not about the shape, everybody. It's about the lie.
Right.
Exactly.
So we're just looking for that line where the lies end and the truth begins. That's what we're looking for. And some people find it in scripture, and that's amazing. It gives them hope. And I believe that whoever God is God for every single person here on this earth, and that it's a direct relationship as we wake up to the truth.
Well said.
There were Christian flat Earth conferences. I feel bad for you in some ways, DJ, because before the pandemic, there were literally flat Earth Christian conferences that Patricia and I weren't even invited to because we weren't. Well,
those people are Satan.
Well, I mean, we other than
we're so brave. So you're dealing with that. You got the media there at the first conference. You're both going, holy shit, we're seeing this all unfold. People are showing up. I mean, were you guys surprised by the turnout and the reception? And did you make friends right away? Could you tell like these were people you had things in common with?
Yeah.
Explain how the community started to grow.
Well, it was massive in that people, again, when you show up at the conference, you don't have to hide anymore. You're there amongst friends.
And when you walk through the hotel, no matter what conference it is, because there have been several, instead of when you're seeing people who are at the conference, not just like somebody walking by who's staying there for business or something, you don't need to even talk to them, but it's an eye contact thing where it's we understand each other, we both are facing the same things, both positive and negative. It's you get each other instantly. And and actually a lot of the people are people that maybe in our own life we may never have met at all. Our paths probably never would have crossed. Right. And maybe we wouldn't have been able to, enjoy the friendships that we now have because of that. But it just was a great feeling walking around in the hotel, catching the eye of somebody that you knew that you hadn't even talked to yet, but they're here for the Flat Earth Conference. And it's like, we know what's going on here. And it's a nice feeling knowing things. This is weird that the rabble, the average people out there who don't look into it and make fun of us, we know things they don't know. And we're not dumb. We're not stupid. We know if they would only sit down with us and take us seriously and let us walk them through a few videos, but they won't do it most of the time.
And it's just a slow burn. And a lot of these seeds, what I'm realizing, once they're planted, it could take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years for it to grow. But they do get planted. And with us, what I felt also at the conferences is immediate connection. And it's up against, a common, not necessarily enemy, but seeing things with so much more light and love and hope, and people are nicer. It makes you want to be a better person. It's really interesting all around, the feeling that you get when you're just kind of accepting that, hey, we found truth for us, that this feels like truth. I mean, it is truth, you guys.
And there was such, even then, which is why the media was caught so off guard, was there was such a huge surge of content online that you realized it wasn't just some tiny little grassroots thing that was popping up. That's why all the media panicked and sent teams as fast as humanly possible, because especially now, 9 years later or 7 years past that first conference, where people think it happens, the attrition rate and how we grab people is even quicker now, to where if you go on, it's like, oh, flat earthers, you're so dumb, and you type it in, and all of a sudden, so much stuff. I mean, there's a lot of bad, stuff, misinformation, but all your favorite channels have done a flat Earth video. And people are like, wait a minute, PewDiePie did multiple flat Earth videos. Asmongold did multiple flat Earth videos. That not because they were into it, but because they were covering it. And then there's like, wait a minute, where have I been? And that was similar with the documentary, which we won't dwell on too much, which is people didn't think it was real. Again, even the media, when they were in North Carolina, they didn't think it was real, and so they started talking to us. And then it's like, wait a minute, they're all freaking serious, which is
wild, because it's so against the grain. You guys, no one wants to be here.
We're not drooling, we're idiots.
Right.
We have our moments.
Right. I mean, find a really, really bad flat. I mean, I will say this, two quick things. One, the flat earthers that talk, they're allowed to be interviewed. They know everyone's got their roles to play. I have never seen a just fall flat on your face flat earth interview, I think, really by anybody. Right? You either know enough, you've got enough of the verbiage that you think you can speak comfortably on camera, or you don't. True. And as far as the trolls, then it also applies to the trolls. Patricia can vouch for this. It's almost impossible to infiltrate us and be a content creator because you can't fake it. It is so tough, which is why DJ knows some of this, which is like at the Los Angeles meetups, the door guy was asking questions Whoever's coming in, it's like, so what's your favorite thing about it? You down with the flat? What's your favorite thing about flat Earth? And if they stutter, if the enthusiasm in their eyes is like, take a hike, freaking loser. And which is
you can't fake it.
You can't fake it, and which is why DJ remembers who's the guy Tyler Oliveri.
Yeah.
At the conference.
We can all sniff him out.
Yeah, they knew. David worked on him for 5 hours at his house. Right? Imagine that, spending 5 hours with David Weiss at his house.
Yeah.
And then he still, he was still going to try to troll us, or the Good Liars, that comedy team.
He pulled on those heartstrings because at the end of it, he does let Dave say his piece of, hey, look, don't take my word for it. Look into it. And he gives the info.
Right.
And Tyler let him do it because Tyler had that face, that moment of like, God, these were nice people, and they invited me to their home, and Dave's information is really interesting, and he couldn't help but be a little bit captivated by it, but knows, like, no, it's too stupid. Obviously, I'm just a kid. What do I know? Right. But these, you guys, the people there, they're smart because they know more about the Earth than the average glober.
Right. Mm-hmm. And there was a moment, I have to admit, I didn't catch a lot of hell for this, because I was the one that gave Tyler the microphone because I was, doing the questions, and he was one of the last questions. And when he started up, when I could see, and it's like, okay, he's going to do his little stunt. I mean, I knew exactly where his camera guy was. I could have dropped his camera guy and threw, and handed the camera. It's like, lose this somewhere. But doing that, I mean, there was this moment. It's like, if I do it, no one's even gonna know what happened, right? Because we're not gonna let it out. So it's
it's way better because Mark, you had the perfect saying in your opening speech. Is like, what did you say about shooting arrows onto a bonfire?
Yeah, shooting arrows onto a bonfire. Which is, again, which is why I tell trolls in the chat. I do want to address that eventually because I haven't looked at the chat room, but there was like trolls coming at us like straight out of the gate as soon as I even did the pre-show. And which is what I try to tell the trolls is like, look, and they can't help themselves. They're compelled. The power of flat compels you. They could not help themselves, which is, you think, it's like, oh, I'm getting some shots in on flat Earth. It's like, all you're doing is adding to our metrics. That's all you're doing. Your only weapon is to not talk about us and to not address us, and you can't stop. You can't do it.
Mark, the video game child and you must just love that you get to deliver that line. That's such a classic, 90s war movie where no matter what you try to do to us, you can't stop.
You can't. You can't. And I have. Thank you. I have.
Freaked out by this.
Go ahead. What?
The average person gets a little freaked out by this talk, this language, and you got to be really patient with people and just being like, hey, no pressure. If you're curious, please come and look. I can show you what I'm finding compelling, what's really intriguing me, what I'm noticing. But then once you kind of accept, it is no going back.
Right.
And so I think people get...
Yeah, there's no going back.
No, how could you? Go ahead.
There are people who've said that they're ex-flat earthers, but they were never flat earthers. They're just doing that to further troll. Several shows ago, when I first started not back with you, Mark, because I was never really a Strange World co-host before, but before I went on a month-long hiatus, I was checking the chat, which I will in a moment. I should. And a random name I never saw before. And we know the names. We know each other. We know each other's names, pretty much. Yeah. There are new people who come, but we do know the names because we see them in other chats. Somebody whose username was Redondo Rocket. And I thought, what flat earther would call themselves anything having to do with a rocket?
Right.
And that person was chatting. I kept my eye on them. And then I glanced at them while we were doing the show. And the person said, I miss Patricia's old face.
Oh,
and I'm like, there we go.
Oh,
just troll. Not even like, what do you mean my old face? Like, because I got old since 2015? Or are you implying some other things, which is what they were trying
Patricia,
to do?
You are the Nicole Kidman of Flat Earth. You will be iconic and timeless and ageless forever.
Right.
Redondo Rocket block.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but come on. If you don't know that by now, the Flat Earth community they really adore you, and I'm sure that's what. Getting back to the first conference, when the news shows up and they see you and Mark, they see Nicole Kidman as their leader, and they have Mark over here who could easily be a Hollywood producer. You've just got that snappy swag and wit about you that nobody's going to be able to doubt. They don't doubt you. So you guys. I wish I was there to witness this. That's hilarious.
How
excited were you by the end of it?
Oh, I mean, again, we had a lot of fun in the early years. So much fun, and because it was unrestricted, you know,
I feel like we're mom and dad talking to our son about what it was like.
I know,
when we
right?
were in high school.
A little bit, I'm going to call you Auntie Patricia and Uncle Mark.
Okay.
Oh God. Well, again, that's fine because
I'm looking in the chat, and I hope we don't see Redondo Rocket.
I don't have any official nephews because that's just how it works. But yes, that's absolutely fine. And yeah, when Patricia and I were doing the early stuff, we were again one of my favorite moments ever. And if you guys want to watch it, Patricia didn't get a chance to do a lot of interviews, but when we were down in Arcadia at one of the big early LA meetups. We were there was a dual thing happening. I was down there with National Geographic, and then Jaron was supposed to be down there with CBS Sunday Morning with Jane Pauley. Jaron doesn't show because freaking Flake, why didn't you show up? You missed that one. And I remember it was so fun for me to do, which was, because CBS comes to me, why not? They said, hey, who can we talk to? It's like, you can't talk to me. It's like, no, Nat Geo's got the rights on you. We have an agreement with them. We can't talk to you this weekend. And so who are you going to use? And I go, well, there's that guy, Rob Skiba, over there in that mob of people. I go, that's the guy you really should be talking to. I couldn't even get in, because Rob, wherever he goes, he gets mobbed. It's a big Christian love fest, and it's wonderful.
And not Christian as well.
Well, yes.
I mean,
I loved Rob.
Rob was wonderful.
Rest in peace. But I know he's in a better place anyway. He's helping us along.
And they said, and I could see the assistant looking him up. It's like, no, too churchy. And it's like, oh, you guys. And so I go, there's your girl right there, Patricia Steer. And, Patricia had no idea. It's like, I half expected Patricia to be like, nope, not this short notice. And nope, she sat down at the picnic table and they hit her with questions. And I watched and I was going, oh my God, she's freaking nailing it. And when it was over, it was posted on YouTube, got 1 million hits so fast. And then some of the CBS older audience complained and they pulled it. Not only did they pull it from the YouTube, but they pulled it from their TV archives and their website. You can't find it. If you go to CBS, you can't find that interview. I saved it though. Thank God, they did.
Yeah, you just sent it to me, and I watched it.
It's
and
wonderful.
Patricia, you look so poised, and you articulated beautifully.
The conviction was
great
fantastic.
Representative for the female.
I was
thinking that they were going to ask some kind of questions and take what I said out of context. And I knew I would only have a couple of seconds to get across whatever my point was. So I made very quick points as much as I could where they wouldn't be able to cut it up. But I was thinking on the fly. You know how it is when you're in an under pressure situation like that. You look at it later and think, oh, I should have said this. I should have said that. But anyway, it worked out fine and I was happy with it. And I think it might still be on it might be on my new channel. Is it, Mark?
I think so. I think it is.
I think it's on my channel, Patricia Steer, as well.
It's definitely.
I encourage everyone to go watch it.
It's definitely on mine. Oh, by the way, plug your channel, Patricia, because now that you're back, I'm going to make sure that I put it in the comments.
It's not the original channel I started off with in 2015. That's been deleted. But the channel that I have now, I started in 2019. It kind of sat vacant, and then when I decided to make a comeback to the Flat Earth world after leaving for several years, long story. I've been putting old videos on it, and it is Patricia Steer. And I would imagine that Mark will put a link to it in this video when it actually goes into post-production.
Yep, I absolutely will. So please show Patricia some new love, some much-deserved love, and subscribe to our channel. And maybe one day I'll be saying the same thing about DJ.
Oh my God, one day at a time, Mark.
All right. Well, hey, you're getting content out there now, so we could if you made a channel, we could put these on a brand new channel of yours.
Right. And you need to be able to get yourself a few copyright strikes, guideline strikes.
I'm gonna be so cool. I'll be like, God's coming for a strike. Woo!
Yeah, you get seriously nothing gets your blood pressure up in the morning like waking up to a strike. When it's like, we're sorry, and their verbiage is so freaking kind,
condescending.
Yeah.
Well,
we're sorry for giving you this strike for this video you did in 2015. We're giving it to you in 2024, but it's been on your channel this entire time.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, I'm trying to fight the algorithm, Mom, Dad. If I'm gonna post this stuff, I need to learn from your guys' mistakes and get a little bit of coaching of how to get past getting shadow banned.
Shadowman's going to be kind of tough. In fact, I just did an interview. Here's a great example.
Isn't everyone who's in any sort of awakening shadow band?
Some more than others. Like I did the Mind Shock interview just a couple.
You know how to outsmart the system. You've got the Matrix code.
Look, it's at that point it's code versus code, right? We're talking. There's some very smart people in the background that are running the YouTube. I mean, remember, these are the same YouTube algorithm people that in 2018 took out the entire the search scoreboard. Took it out entirely just for us. And I know the trolls say, "Oh, that's delusional." It's absolutely not delusional. They pulled it because of us, because that's what I would have done, which is somebody hit the big shiny red button at the end of the table. It's like, you know what? We don't need it. Get rid of it. You go, we'll solve this algorithm thing once and for all. We don't have to keep ratcheting down, because they did try. But if you guys don't know anything what happened back then, they tried to, Bob Nodell was really good at tracking this. He was the one that told me how to get around it, which was they were stunting our numbers, which was videos, the early shadow banning. And he goes, all you have to do is search by upload date. Just hit the filter by upload date. I'll give you the right number. And even then they got to that. And eventually somebody, you know how that goes. Some guy says, you know what? Screw all this elaborate crap that we're doing. Just take it out. Just take out the scoreboard. They're the only ones that are really paying attention anyway. So
you feel, Mark, were you like, oh, this is exciting because it's really getting to them? Or were you like, oh no, this is going to hurt us? How did you feel?
Both, because as flattering as that is, you realize the tools that you're up against, which is okay. You know, we have a certain thing, but these guys actually have the rule book, you know, so they can change. I'm not going to use a movie reference for it, but they can change the rules of the game if they want, which they did.
And then get Obama to say flat Earth and make fun of it twice in speeches, at the same time.
Society.
Subliminal put it out there, but it was exciting because anyone in the truther community will tell you
they're talking about us. They're doing stuff because of us.
Yeah, they're doing stuff in real time. I mean, other things you can talk about, other conspiracies, which we won't mention, all day long, and they're not going to do. You know, secrets can be buried in the desert, but flat Earth, they had to deal with that. In like right now, we got to do something right now. I mean, again, the think tanks I would have loved to have sat in on those meetings where they're like, okay, we've got like a 3-month timetable. We got to do some stuff. Ideas, anyone? And then
the number one idea that they had was try to bury them and then mock them. Just mock them. Keep mocking them.
Have you ever been scared for your safety? Like, okay, getting back to that first conference, did you ever worry that maybe there's people here that want to take us out because getting out?
No, because nobody, and I have never heard of a story along those lines ever from anyone. No, and people ask me.
Well, there was that guy that emailed you and I and said he was going to stab us. Remember that?
But again, you know that story. That was, again, I don't know anything about drugs. He was on a meth bender. I thought it was a crack bender. And he was going to stab me.
Well, he said it was glass.
That is. Yeah, he was hitting the glass, and he was going to stab me with a 24-centimeter knife. But then he apologized in an email, and then revised because he listened to the show, right? And then he revised. He goes, he literally, when you email someone and say death threat apology number 2 with corrections,
right?
It's like, okay, well, apparently, and again, he was in Europe because he used centimeters. It's like, okay, well, he's obviously not from here. Either Canada or Europe. It's definitely not here. 23 centimeters must not have been in the States. No, absolutely not in the States.
That's hilarious.
So, but no, my point is this. I have never heard of anyone in the flat Earth community that was chased by anyone in black, that had vans next to their houses, or, you know, helicopters flying around or anything like that. No.
Why do you think they keep their hands off then?
Well, because in the social media world, we're kind of a tricky thing to do. Because remember, you and I have talked about this a little bit, DJ, which is if you hit us directly, you're giving us press, which is why, like the Jaron joke. Jaron and I joked years ago. I know we're going to go break here in 3 minutes or so. Our only break, by the way. Back in the day when there was that boat, Patricia remembers this, where there was a boat, someone had parked a boat in a mall parking lot in the middle of the night, right? Just a small like ski boat with a tarp on it that painted flat Earth on the side, right? And then the police were approaching it the next day, and Jaron and I are watching this live. And it's like, oh God, it's going to catch fire, isn't it? It's going to blow up, isn't it? We're going to get pinned. We're going to get blamed for this. Never happened. It was just one of Jaron's fans actually. That is like, oh yeah, you know, I'm doing my part. You know, let's do flat Earth.
We always feared that somebody would, you know, do some kind of activity that would be labeled terrorism and that would be tied to flat Earth in some way, but it never happened.
Never happened. We never even had a violent incident in a meetup. Never had. Never had.
I think so.
Never had an incident. Well, well, I will say this. I will give Robbie Davidson a little credit. If there were any threats at conferences, Robbie was just going to ignore them.
Well, no, but Robbie did put together a great security team that was there for the conferences and very highly trained. And each of the speakers had a security professional that sort of shadowed them for the whole event. And yeah, that was good.
Yeah, but I mean,
it was unnecessary, but it was good.
And sorry, one more thing, DJ, which is, and if you believe that God is on your side, nobody called in a threat to any of the conferences at all that we knew of. And it's like that.
God says not to fear. You're absolutely right, Mark. So that's why I'm here. Look, if I'm going to look like an idiot or put my safety at risk, where all of you're able to do it, and it is true. The conferences feel very safe, but I would be lying if I said I wasn't scared going to my first couple of meetups, because honestly, I was scared. I felt like this is so dark that how am I safe? Or is someone going to try to kill me and blow this flat Earth building up, and then everyone's going to laugh? Like, I thought it would be.
Do you know what I think part of it is Patricia knows this. We generate so much positive energy at these things. Remember, this is not like your average group meeting where you're meeting in a really dark place and everybody talks like Batman and we should overthrow the government. Nobody, I mean, it is freaking just smiles. And
we avoid the government. I mean, we don't have anything to do with them. Most of us don't even vote.
Drinking, and a quarter of the people in the parking lot smoking. I mean, it is almost like a Grateful Dead thing in some aspects. It's just nothing but totally positive energy. And because of that, if you believe in manifestation, if that much energy is being generated from the room, how can you go against that? How can you really turn that upside down? You know, the government never even tried. So anyway.
And that might be because they don't see us as a threat, because most people, as we know, don't believe anything we're saying is true. However, there are people who are continuing to have an awakening to this and to many other things, little by little by little. And I do not believe that there will come a time in the future where everybody knows the shape of the Earth is other than a globe. I don't think that will happen, but it doesn't matter. We know, and we can affect change perhaps among other people, and more will know. And that, to me, is enough.
Ooh, I like that. I think we should definitely talk about that after the break. That's a good cliffhanger. Why do you think that we're never going to find out that the Earth is not a globe as a whole?
All right. And with that, we are going to go to our one and only break. And it's only going to last a couple of minutes. So if you guys want to get a drink or whatever, here's some music and advertisement to watch in the meantime.
Introducing the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock App Meetup Maker. Never miss another meetup again. You can look up meetups in several different ways. Sort by date. You can search by location or within a 500-mile radius. To create and list your own meetup, enter the date. Give the meetup a name, a location name, add a photo, enter your contact information, create a group chat name, and then fill out the description with all of the details. Select your background color and hit the Save button to add your meetup to the list. Once the meetup is saved, it will ask you to create a group chat for all of the meetups so people can join the group and start a local chat community. Select Public Group, add your welcome message, and your meetup is now available for all to see. To make sure you don't miss another meetup in your area, you can select your desired radius and whether you want push notifications or email or both. Whenever a new meetup is added in your selected radius, you get notified. The Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock Meetup Maker, bringing people together all around the plane.
Join me, Karen B, every Moon Day at 9:30 a.m. for Coffee Talk on YouTube, Rumble, and Rockfin. You never know what you'll learn about in the coffee shop. Open topic and open phones, y'all. You can also go to flatearthfestivals.com for updates on the latest news for Flattoberfest 2024 and also for meetups, local meetups. If you want to have your meetup listed on flatearthfestivals.com for free, please email flatearthfestivals@protonmail.com.
Sorry.
Welcome back to Strange World, part 2 of 2. See what I did there? It's not going to be 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. It's 2 of 2. That was, by the way, Joe Jackson stepping out from his album. Either of you.
Night and day.
There we go.
I do want to draw attention to cats in the background, just because.
Those are real cats. So, like
on the psychiatrist chair, one cat, and then on the jukebox is Flynn. Check it out.
Very nice. And this is proof, by the way, that what you were seeing here in all 3 instances
is a mirage.
Yeah, it's not. I do want to talk about that. Oh yeah, we got to play that during our thing.
Mirage.
Which is all 3 of our backgrounds are completely real. So Patricia has her album of her wall full of albums and real cats. DJ actually does have that lighting behind him in the distance. That is not a CGI background. And somebody commented to me during my thing, he goes, "I am bedazzled by your disco background." It's like, yes, that is not computer graphics. That is actually full-blown lasers, plural. Our RGB lasers, which are firing off from over here. So yeah,
RGB, red, green, blue.
Yep, red, green, blue lasers, which they change on random. I just plug it in and fire it off, and it just gets.
I do have to say I have a third cat. The third cat is still here, but is on the desk next to me, so not in the scene.
And Patricia's cats' names are
Rory, Greer, and Flynn.
Rory, Greer, and Flynn. Do not forget it.
Born in 2015, right when I woke up to the flat Earth thing.
Aw. They're awfully nice. Yep. Hey, you know what I forgot to do, guys? Because DJ inspired me to do the Fast Earth clues. I did my first one, which wasn't officially a Fast Earth clue, but it was a response to Joe Rogan, which I thought went pretty well. If you guys wondering, it's a 60-second long thing. I'm going to play it for you now, not the Joe Rogan one. But it's
a great idea.
It is, because, again...
Thanks, DJ.
It is both a happy and sad thing for me, because I know that if you're under a certain age, 60-second videos are the max before you turn into a goldfish again and just start swimming off somewhere else.
Even 60 is too much for people.
Even 60 is too much. And so it's like, all right. Yeah. So what I decided was to do something a little different, which was instead of lip syncing and doing a little dance, which I know everyone would love, I decided to condense as much information into 60 seconds as humanly possible. And by that, I mean, there's no audio editing software. If you guys want to test me on that, I will absolutely read the script for you, which I'm not going to do right now. You guys probably know, if you listen to the show, I can talk pretty fast if I want to. And so what I'm getting at is there's no audio editing software. And what I do is I write a page and a half of script and I read it as fast as I possible. And I have to cut it down to 59 seconds, remove a word here or there. And then while I'm doing that, then I add in words into the screen, which I'm not even reading, so that it overloads your brain. And then you either have to watch it at a lesser speed or you have to watch it multiple times. So you ready?
Everybody take a big inhale.
Okay, this one is Fast Earth Clues. Number 1, it's going to be called The Curve. So my flat earth friends messaged me and say, Mark, you got to do a video on the curve and explain how it works. And I said, easy. Let's cover the basics. If you believe in the globe and you believe in the curve, and by that I mean the invisible shape that can only be seen from space. But how is it measured? I hate math, you hate math. Why learn it if you have cell phones? The math behind the curve, see what I did there, is simple. For your visible range, it's 8 inches per mile or 8 inches per mile squared. And you say, Mark, get bent. That's math. Fine, I'll do it for you. At 10 miles, the curve is 10 times 10 times 8, so 800. Easy, right? No, because right now you're thinking stairs. It's not stairs. It gets more exaggerated the further you go. At 50 miles miles. It's way more than you think. It's 50 times 50 times 8, which is pushing 1,700 feet. And that means on a calm day, any object shorter than that should be behind the curve. See what I did twice? The trolls say it's a mirage or Fata Morgana or looming, but check out these oil rigs from the beach in California. No curve in front of the rigs, and more importantly, no curve on the distant horizon. Wait a minute, how could there be a horizon behind the oil rigs when the curve should have blocked everything from the front? The curve is a brainwashing myth. The reason you can see behind the curve is because it's not there. It's flat. Go down the rabbit hole and find out for yourself, or don't. Whatever. I'm done. And there you go.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Love it.
So, so the next one I'm going to do is going to be on gravity. I've already got the script in my head. I'll be working on that tomorrow. It's thinking about the script is actually the hardest part. The rest of it's fairly easy. I've done so many videos over the years that.
But are you having fun?
I am having fun with it. Well, again, it's a challenge. You know, I treat it a little bit like a game, which is like, okay, can I actually do this in 59 seconds? And the thing, like the little tricks that I did with this one, because I wanted to include a video clip, which I hadn't done before. And so I took the Santa Barbara oil rig clip, which some of you guys know from different videos, and I had to speed it up 16 times, just that section.
I'm loving it.
To squeeze that in there, and then had to talk over it. And then I noticed there was also text in the video. It's like, oh, good, they can read that whenever they decide to. And yeah, I'm having fun. So I'll do gravity next. But if anyone wants to, and I know DJ will send me suggestions, and Patricia might send me suggestions. But if the chat room wants to email me, you can email me at msargent23@comcast.net. And that's msargent23@comcast.net, and send me whatever you want. And if what you would like to see, it's like, Mark, can you do this in 60 seconds? Yes, I can. It may not be pretty. In fact, it may just be in your face, like a strobe light attached to a fire hose in your face. But I can do it. So
you were born for this. Come on, you got it.
It's my only thing that I don't like about it is because I have to do it. You know, I do it in one take, but I have to do it like, you know, I have to whittle it down. So by the time I'm done, I've probably done it 6 or 7 times. You talk that fast, you know, when you get amped up, and it's tough to come down. So I have to do it in the morning. I can't do it at night, or I'm not going to sleep.
It's going to be energy for the whole day.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty much. I mean, I don't have to do drugs, which is, again, Patricia knows. People don't offer me drugs for whatever reason. Never have my whole life. I understand now why.
They're like, he's already on them, I guess?
Yeah, you don't want to offer me drugs.
I don't know which one.
And Karen forced me to have drugs at the Vegas conference. Forced me. She goes, hey, you're going to have this chocolate thing. Did you have one of those chocolate things, DJ?
No, but it's fun.
I can't remember where they had it. And she goes, yeah, because she didn't believe me that after my appendectomy, which Patricia knows that I actually had done, after my appendectomy, drugs and other substances really don't have that much of an effect. So I said, don't waste.
Wired, we know, but we love that about you.
Thank you.
And I suggested this to you right before you got flat bored. You know,
yeah, I needed to do something. I needed to do something new, and I will admit this. I was being lazy because I didn't want to address the kids, you know, the younger groups, which is like, it's like I was in denial. It's like, oh, TikTok cannot be the future. It can't be, and it is. I know. I was reading something. I was, oh, TikTok famous girl.
It's not their fault. They're being preyed upon. But yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. So it's
right,
like,
and it's since they're being preyed upon, we can actually, in a good way, prey upon them as well by exposing them while they're being exposed to the bad stuff to something that might help them.
You know me. I mean, not only am I a huge enabler, but I will exploit as well. It's like that is the gaming in me. If there's a weakness in the system somewhere, oh no, I'm maximizing that. So yeah. So anyway, kids.
Before we went to the break, we were discussing, and DJ brought it up as perhaps something we could talk about when we come back from the break. And since we're back, which was my statement, and maybe you find my statement to be flawed. It was something along the lines of, I don't think we're ever going to hit critical mass where everybody knows the earth is flat, which will overturn the globe. I think we will not. It's impossible because of the massive indoctrination that is going on with the school systems. However, that's okay. There are still many people who are receptive, and many more coming along through TikTok, etc., that can be affected by this, and that's why it's okay to keep on going. That's my thoughts. However, Mark, you might think differently, and DJ, maybe you think differently.
I think, I mean, granted, we were at the pace. Look, I'm going to put myself in the other people's shoes, and by that I mean the Illuminati meetings, which I have to attend every 90 days.
I don't think they wear shoes. They wear just white socks, kind of like they do on the fake ISS.
Well, this.
No need for shoes.
That's true.
Yeah, well, if you're a shill, Mark, I'm going to put you to work. You're going to be doing a flat Earth clue every week.
Thank you. I am going to do one of these. I'm going to try to do one every week. I should be able to do it, so no problem there. But before they were slowing us down in 2018, the optimism, I had so much optimism because, again, I was looking at the numbers. I've got a whole playlist on my channel. It's like, oh, no, we're taking this. We've got this thing, and this thing's in the freaking bag. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, no, we're going to slow you down a bit. Get the lead programmer, the guy that actually, and he's done interviews. I posted interviews on him in the last year where they got a hold of him. It's like, okay, who's in charge of recommending for you on YouTube, right? And they got a hold of that guy, and it's like, dude, you got to do something now. And to where he was very public in interviews and said, oh, yeah. And he mentioned us a bunch of times. Out of all the topics in the world to mention, he mentions us and how the algorithm that he wrote worked too well. And if you guys don't know what I mean, is the algorithm, we're talking early AI, which is if you see somebody clicking on a particular topic and they spend time watching the whole thing or more time than others, you keep giving them more of it. And so, which is why he said with the average person that gets into flat Earth, we were the perfect binge topic. Absolutely perfect. If you watch 20 videos, he said it gives you watch flat Earth, new flat Earther watches 20 videos in a row. What do you think we're going to promote? And it's like, yeah, we're just going to give you more drugs, more flat Earth. Just pile it on. Just back the frickin' truck up. And so that's when they had to, again, they did it all in one fell swoop. Not only did they tear down the scoreboard, but they monetized us 70% less. And everyone could confirm that, Rob and Jaron and all those guys. And it's like, oh, God, we're getting way less money because they weren't recommending us as much. But I'm sorry, before they turned us down, they took us down from 11 down to 4. The optimism was there. All they did was slow us down, though. That's all they did. The content wasn't going away. They still never banned channels. We weren't forbidden. We weren't a dirty word. There were still people that made fun of us. But again, that is the normal response. And I've said this since minute one, which is if you don't make fun of flat Earth when you first hear it, I worry for you because that's what you should be doing.
Well, Convid also slowed everything down because the truth seekers were all unable to gather and meet, and most were refusing masks, and nobody was getting vaccines, and there was traveling wasn't happening as much because some could, but many could not because they didn't have a vaccine passport or whatever was necessary for the place they lived, and we got involved in researching things like the flaws of germ theory, and so our attention was turned toward that, and then trying to wake people up about hey guys, this is a psyop about Convid. So many channels that did exclusively flat Earth did turn to waking people up about Convid. It didn't really slow us down, but
they go hand in hand.
It took us in a different way. Yeah,
they go hand in hand, and what I find most interesting is that those kinds of accounts that were spreading truth in those ways, besides flat Earth, started to get banned. And the people that were looking for Convid information and seeing all the things that were disappearing and getting shadow banned, completely deleted, that when that started to happen to flat Earth stuff, that's when I started to really perk up because then I was seeing it for myself.
Yeah.
And they grouped together. So so Mark, you believe in the 100 monkey effect though. So how many more monkeys are left on Earth to kick past?
I don't know. I mean, I'd love to give a prediction there, but again, when you keep changing the rule book, it's like, okay, well now if you're going to move the goalposts, all right, well then apparently the game plan's got to change somewhat. I do know this though, that when I knew we were in a special realm when there was that Senate hearing, again, something I posted recently just to remind people, where the head of YouTube, or the Google owns YouTube, when the head of the Google YouTube program said they were going to add a wiki entry to our flat Earth videos. It's like, I'll steal from Karen here. If you've got to post that below, as a disclaimer before a content, you are hitting really close to something that you're not supposed to. And
it's like when you share something on Instagram and it says, "Do you want to share this?" They have been found to be spreading misinformation. They're like, I want to share it. Yes, I want to follow them even more now.
Right.
Exactly.
And that's a delicate tightrope that they have to walk, which is, yeah, you want to really come after flat Earth, but you know full well that the more attention you give it by condemning it is still more attention. Again, firing more arrows. So it's like, all right, how can we quietly move these guys off to the side to where they lose interest? And it's like, no, flat Earth hits people so hard, it's never going to be a not interesting topic. It's just a question right now of, for me, this might answer your question a little better, DJ, which is getting public figures to talk about it more just as a matter of fact.
Yes, but public figures, almost to a man or woman, are horribly indoctrinated, and they're the people who are responsible for all the lies.
Yeah.
What are we going to get Trump to talk about flat Earth?
Not necessarily.
Or Kamala, whatever.
Not necessarily Trump, but people. I will say this: the media and public figures, social media has gotten so powerful now that if the first rule of media has never changed, which is give the people what they want. If they see which is why all the major channels, remember, there was a reason why every big channel, YouTube channel you've ever seen has done at least one flat Earth video. And that is because they read the numbers. Again, I hate the kid, but at the same time, I get it, because Logan Paul, say what you want about him, but he was one of the first big people to troll us, which is he didn't troll us just out of the blue. He looked at the numbers. It's like, oh yeah, we got to get in on this. And he did. I mean, to where he spent quite a bit of money to troll us.
Right.
At the same time, not everyone trolls us. There are other people that have come out and said, I love the sports figures, and people have been kind of sly about it. Unfortunately, Kyrie Irving has now kind of become a cautionary tale. The basketball star, that's played multiple years in the league, very, very good, been an all-star for years and years, he was so excited about it, kind of like you, DJ. He was so excited about it. It's like, yeah, let's talk about it at the all-star game. Media, gather around. I want to talk about it. And
it sucks the air out of the room, so you can't really talk about it. That's what's so trippy about this. And most people that I've told, and my closest friends, they still don't want to talk about it. They get completely like deer in the headlights look at me. And I'm just like, guys, okay, but what I see happening, so Patricia thinks probably won't happen, which I kind of see Patricia's side 100%. Mark, if you could just explain what is the 100 monkey effect.
Okay.
And I would throw out
I don't think, by the way, the 100 monkey effect is even true. I think it's a untrue statement that people make. And it's never been proven to be actually true, because let's look at monkeys who are taught sign language. There are monkeys who are taught sign language to communicate, and those monkeys haven't spread their ability through the ether for other monkeys to randomly start using sign language and communicating with people. So I don't really buy the 100 monkey effect. However, I understand the concept of it,
which is fine. And again, I respectfully disagree with that, only because, okay, if you're looking for a beneficial update to a group, like washing potatoes in the sand, which the 100th monkey effect was.
But do they really do that, or is that urban legend?
No.
And it's been debunked.
Yeah, you got to remember where the story came from in the first place, which was that scientists. Again, I love when scientists will discover something.
I don't trust scientists.
Well, no. If they're the ones, this happens actually quite often, which is scientists will find something and then it doesn't go well with some of the initial theories, and it's like, no, let's walk this back. We were never there. Happens all the time.
Okay, tell us what it is, though, Mark.
So the 100 monkey effect is sometime after World War II, scientists go around and do funny things. And in this case, they were observing monkeys next to the islands of Japan, because we were over there anyway. And they were throwing potatoes at the monkeys, and they noticed that some of them were washing off the sand off the potatoes, because they were, all these islands and beach. And they noticed the monkeys they were eating more potatoes than the ones that were washing it off. And then all of a sudden they realized, which is why I came up with 100 monkey thing, which is when they got to like the 100th monkey, all the monkeys, the rest of them, all the hundreds and thousands of monkeys, all learned it at the same time. But not just the ones on that island, but the islands then they visited afterwards, which is they crossed the water and it's like, oh, here's this other island. Those monkeys knew how to do it right away. And look, coming from a software background, which is different from Peanut's software background, he gets it though, which is, look, you would have a beneficial, this is actually predates AI, which is a beneficial update, which is, hey, does it benefit the monkeys in some way? Sure, great, fine, let it happen. It's not going to hurt anything. It won't be a major change in a historical timeline. Now, this is where I disagree with Patricia on, which is, yes, she's absolutely right, and it's a good point. No one's ever brought that up to me before, which is, hey, we've been teaching monkeys sign language for a while. Why hasn't the Mirror update with all of a sudden all of them learn sign language? Because that would be way out of bounds. That is something you do not want to happen just overnight, where all of a sudden Coco the gorilla can talk to everybody, can talk to every freaking gorilla.
Hello, Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, that would freak the hell out everybody. And
but if it were true, the 100th monkey effect, it would happen. It would be nothing we could control. It would just happen.
I'm saying the 100th monkey effect probably has limits. You know,
well, you get 100 monkeys next to each other teaching sign language to see if we can prove
oh my
this.
God, yeah, that systemically would turn
and
into...
have them sign the earth is flat.
Oh,
all right.
And then release them out into the wild to spread the information.
That would be awesome. But I do
This is our diabolical plan, everyone.
I am a big believer that information, when it reaches this tipping point, like with anything, eventually when it's less painful, not necessarily more beneficial, but less painful to accept something than to not accept it, then that's when the masses all of a sudden go along. Wait, come on. I mean, I'm trying to be careful with the words I use here, but when's the last time somebody used the word the flu? Right? The flu is something people brought up all the time. We don't use it anymore. I've got family members. They don't say flu anymore. They say the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, why? What are you talking about? We've been saying flu for 100 freaking years. And now we're not. In fact, no one even wants to look at the data sources anymore. And all it took was 3 years of hitting people in the head with it. And now you've convinced the people to do that. So brainwashing. Sorry, let me give one more brainwashing thing for you out here really quick. Which is, I know I said this in other shows, but this gives you a quick how it happens. That, look, our intelligence agencies know how to brainwash people. It is not hard. There is something which they changed in Wiki. Yeah, Peanut nods. He knows. You can brainwash people very, very easily, which is the Child Protection, Electronic Child Protection Act, which they used to call it was it the G.I. Joe clause, which was, Patricia might know this story, which is back in the late 80s, what they did was the people that made G.I. Joe, the cartoon series and the toys, right? They ran the G.I. Joe cartoon, and then the commercials, they only ran G.I. Joe commercials. Right? But the G.I. Joe commercials were using the same cartoon animation as the show you were watching, and they ran back-to-back hour-long shows. So it was like a 2-hour show. And anybody in the agencies will tell you, after 40 minutes, if your target is engaged, you've got them. Right? You say, okay, what does that mean? What what happened was the kids would go to the grocery stores with their moms, right? Like they all do. It's like they start, put the toy in the basket, put the toy in the basket. Mom's like, no, you're not going to put it in the toy basket. Pick out a breakfast cereal or something, right? And then the kids would see the G.I. Joe and they put it in the basket, right? And the mom's like, no, get that out of it. And the kid would turn on the mom and go, no, you're putting that in the basket. And
I will throw a fit.
Yeah,
the
and the mom's,
which you've never witnessed.
Exactly. And the kid and all mothers talk, and the mother's like, did you know this little Timmy? He almost hit me. Mine almost stabbed me with a knife, right? And to where all of a sudden congressmen were being called. And it's like, what the hell is happening here? And then they figured it out pretty quick, and pretty soon. The government had to pass a law that says you cannot run your own commercials during your shows, because what was happening was the kids couldn't tell where the commercial ended and the show began. It was just 1 2-hour commercial. That's
the
all.
G.I. Joe effect.
The G.I. Joe effect. In fact, they even had, was it Kenner? Who makes G.I. Joe? Was it Kenner, Peanut?
Do not know.
I think it's Kenner. They even made sure, because that was in Wiki for a while. Kenner went back.
My childhood is a lie, Mark. All these cartoons that I love were just about the action figures getting sold.
It's true, but again, we learned.
God, this world is evil.
Like anything, we, especially in America, I'm only going to give America the grief. Oh, I'm sorry, Hasbro. Yeah.
I can't say anymore. That's it. Well, you know what people.
Not only did Hasbro go back and make sure that G.I. Joe thing was taken out of there, sort of like, and I don't want to go down a dark path, but kind of like when Kool-Aid went in and tried to get their name scrubbed from French Guiana. If anyone,
but that was Flavor Aid. It wasn't actual Kool-Aid.
It was both. They ran out of Kool-Aid, and they were using the Kool-Aid engine. Do you know what we're talking about, DJ? You're not old enough, are you? Freaking
Yeah.
child. Okay, French Guyana, Jim Jones
Massacre.
drinking the Kool-Aid. Do you know where that comes from?
It does. I grew up in the 90s when they would say that, don't drink the Kool-Aid, man.
Okay,
It was like a phrase back
For
then.
those of you guys don't know what, because there's so many people that throw it out there, is don't drink it. If you guys don't where the Kool-Aid thing comes from, it was a cult, an American cult that set up shop in French Guyana, and when the government came down to shut them down, we flew down there. It's like, oh no. Even though it was in a different country, they poisoned these huge drums of Kool-Aid and Flavor Aid, and it was bad. It ended badly. And the thing was that Kool-Aid actually petitioned the early social media into scrubbing that from the records. And I'm like, sorry. My point is that America, we always take things too far and then roll it back. And that includes brainwashing for product placement. And
that includes the globe.
And that includes the globe, which, sorry, I got to bring this up, which is anyone in our community, and you guys know, because I get emails about this every once in a while, which is, it's stunning to me how long this has been going on. You can watch shows that go back 30-something, 40-something years, and you will see globe placement, not just the universal logo when the biplane's flying around the world, even though nothing had been completely mapped out yet, from space. There was no space program. They wouldn't be for 20-something years. But it's amazing to me how many shows, and I'm hyper aware of it now, to where it's like show. Most people just gloss it over. It's like, there it is, right there in frame. It's in the background. Oh, there's two of them. It's like, and you say, oh, it's just a globe, but then you realize the context. It's like, it's a mortician's lab. What is that globe doing in there, right?
Right.
It is a sheriff's department. What is it doing on top of his file cabinet? It's the Chicago PD captain's office. Why does he have a globe in there? And it's brilliant in that they have slowly but surely put them in shows. Because remember, it's a one-time deal. Once you get it in a room, you know this from acting, which is once you get it in a room and set design, it's always there for continuity. It never changes. Unless they get a complete revamp to the room.
Also, catalogs sell home decorating things like West Elm and CB2. These are popular mainstream companies. They sell globes, and they're for decorative items and not for, figuring out the shape of the earth. But those are going to they're basically stage props. And the people who made them and sold them to these companies, they're not trying to brainwash anyone. They just realize that people think they're cool.
Right.
And it makes you look smart if you've got a globe.
Right.
And I think that's why in some cases people buy them. But to me, it makes you look stupid.
I'm sorry, what, DJ?
Mark used to collect globes.
I will say this. I started out, I'm going to take credit for this. I started out more in the negative. If anyone was going to buy into the globe, it was me. Not only did I love every space program ever, all my favorite space sagas, movies and franchises and television shows, not only all those, but I was a huge fan of the globe as a model, and I was a fan of world maps. I had world maps everywhere in my early years in Boulder, Colorado. And the joke was, if I ever knocked my head and woke up with amnesia, at least I know where I was. Because oh, of course,
wow.
That's where I am. And I would go on eBay, back when eBay was hot, and I would buy antique globes and take them off the spindle. I had like big bowls full of antique globes because it was kind of cool. Nobody had ever done that. I had one of those stupid cheesy, I'm going to admit that I owned it. I had one of those cheesy flip up globe bars. Oh God, I regret it.
Oh my God. I gave my brother and his wife, now an ex-wife, one of those. It was on his wedding list. It was from Pier 1, I think, which is out of business. Pier 1, a bar that flipped open. It was pretty big. That was a globe.
They are big.
Yeah, and I gave them that for the wedding, and I went to their wedding in New Orleans, and I bought it at a Pier 1 there as opposed to shipping it, because I didn't live in New Orleans at the time, and I had to get a convertible. I rented a convertible car to put the bar globe in it, because that would be the only car I could find that was big enough to stick the thing in. But yeah, I did buy a globe bar. I completely forgot about that till now. Wow, that's embarrassing.
I had to get rid of one. Okay, so all the globes are gone, right? That are in here that I've ever owned, with the exception of one, and that is a globe whiskey decanter on a spindle.
Where is it?
It is.
Let's see it.
Well, you know what? Well, I'll get it at the end of the show, or maybe I'll get it if you guys are talking. But it was given to me by a psychiatrist friend of mine as a joke, because she knew that I was into this, and she thought that would be a little dig, and so she sent me it's actually got whiskey in it, which has been in there for years. I don't drink anymore, and because the murders, and it's filled in there, and it's the only one I have, so it's. Because the rest of them bug me so much. I just get I yell at the television screen all the time. It's like, why? In fact, my biggest hype was, again, DJ knows this one, which was when I was watching Supernatural, because I was bored of looking for things to watch, and I watched all 15 seasons, and their trailer full of memorabilia, they had a globe on either end of the trailer, so no matter which way the camera was facing, they had a globe in frame, and I was going, oh, that's damn clever. That is freaking clever. So they didn't matter. So they could multiple shots. It's like, oh, globe was always there. And when the trailer burned down, okay, get this. So when the trailer burned down, like Inferno, right? And they had to move the charred remains to another feature. You know what survived? One of those globes.
Oh my gosh.
Unscathed. And I'm just...
Was it made of hijacker passport material or something
ooh,
to survive?
Very good. Very nice. Yeah. Oh my God. I was so upset. It's like, it's never going to stop. They're just going to keep hitting people with it. Subliminal hot sex advertising.
Do you think that... Oh, go ahead, GJ.
Well, it sounds like you could do a 60-second short on the globe itself.
I'm going to. I'm going to.
See, this is why I knew you need to get. You have all this flat earth information just snappy and ready to.
You do.
So this is perfect. Getting back to it, I was also obsessed with the globe. I was obsessed with Saturn and space and wanted to be an astronaut. And I remember my grandparents had a really beautiful, like polished blue, it almost looked like marble globe with a gold rim. And it was like one of those like spinned really smooth. And I think people still have those, and they're like very fancy globes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. Love that thing.
Oh wait, was that the one with the semi-precious stones in some of the countries?
Yes.
Those were so popular in the late 80s all the way into like the mid 90s to where they were not cheap. There was a hotel restaurant in Boulder that had one. It was monstrous. It had to have been at least 4 or 5 feet across. And again, it was with a semi-precious and it was durable enough you could spin it. It was cool.
Oh, it's moved so perfectly. And as a kid, I would just spin that thing and I'd look at all the countries and figure, I was so admiring the globe. And guys, it's not about the shape of the earth for us. We don't care. We're not attached to the flatness of the earth. We could easily go back to a ball if that was what was true. But unfortunately, we got to take your ball away, pop the ball, because if the earth isn't flat, then what is it? It's more about what is this place and learning about that. That's why all the details of flat earth are so fun. So if you're on the fence, come, take a look. Start doing your investigation for yourself.
Well said. Are you a professional? I think you are.
I'm loving this.
Well,
we have our ability to take phone calls now. Is that what I saw flashing up the screen for?
Peanut, our silent producer, who is constantly keeping us on track, especially with the new format. He reminds me that you guys, of course, that are listening and watching can't see what's on screen, which is the call board. And we're looking through. Remember, we're only going to be taking new callers for the foreseeable future.
Or no callers if there's no new callers.
Yeah, Peanut, do you see any? The San Jose one looks new. Possibly
we could take it and then just literally slam the phone down on them if they're not new. That would be nice. Very welcoming.
I'm not above that.
You knew?
DJ's the kinder, gentler voice of reason in this group.
Wait, I have one closing thought before new callers.
I don't think so. What?
Okay, so Patricia, we didn't close this out. So Patricia thinks that, okay, maybe we never find out, but they have too much power. Mark's thinking, okay, 100 monkeys. He didn't say what monkey we could be on. Really quick, any number, what monkey?
I will say that we are at least a year or two out. That sounds like a cop-out answer, but I would say. But then again, look, we're coming down the election year.
Quick.
I still think the if nothing happens by November, the November-January window, that all the madness, then we may be waiting a while. So I'm
okay. Well, then you didn't give us a monkey number. 38, 58.
Fine.
33.
I'm going to say 85. How's that? Because I was class of 85.
Oh, 85. So that's high. Okay. And then last, I'll wrap it up really quick. I'm looking at everything through both those lenses because I see both sides, but also I take scripture into account because in the Bible, if it's making prophecy, I always pay attention to that. I just find that also interesting. And I don't think that everybody wakes up to that before something other bigger happens. And we
I think I agree with that as well.
So,
but I do have to say it's Flavor Aid, not Kool-Aid, and I do have to say the 100 monkey effect has been debunked. I just need to say it again.
You can say it all you want, but it didn't come out. It didn't come out of nowhere. Okay, well, I'm sorry. You know what? One more thing. Callers be damned. I want to get some of this stuff out, which is the science. There are certain science things. Look, I believe in the 100 monkey effect, but I also believe in something. Again, science denies this as well, which is neuroscience and free will, which is the thing where they can measure the brain waves that you made a decision 8 seconds before you even saw the question.
Crazy.
And look, there's been documentaries on that. I mean, because it's fairly recent. And most of your science, because that leads into predestination. And every time this will say, there's no such thing as predestination. It's like, yeah, you said the same thing about the giant panda. So screw you. Anyway. All right. So I'm going to grab a call. I also want to grab that thing because I know Patricia's curious about it.
Yeah, I want to see the.
You want to see the decanter?
Globe decanter.
The only globe I've got in the whole
with
place.
this live smashing right here on the air.
No, because it's full of alcohol.
And it's also something that was a gift.
It was a gift again. I felt bad. This was a woman who I dated for a while in Boulder, and I helped her go through grad school, and she became a full-blown psychiatrist. Mm-hmm. And she had a chance, by the way. She really wanted to do. She's been published on other things before, papers, not books, but she wanted to do a case study on me, right? But
wow!
But then she realized no, because she's like, nah, the conflict of interest thing's going to come up, and if I'm found out, I'm screwed.
Well, not only that, there's nothing wrong with your brain.
No, it's not that. It's not that. But if all of a sudden, oh yeah, look at this if that flat Earth paper did really well, and all of a sudden it's like, wait, didn't you live with him for 5 years? It's like, yeah, that might. Then yeah.
Sleeping with a flat earther. See, there goes my love life on top of it all for being on this. Beautiful.
Oh well, I'll agree with you there. I will agree with you there.
Well, between that and the pandemic, woof. That's rough. I'm sorry. A little quick story. My brother-in-law was telling me, he knows somebody really well who was dating a girl, and like young couple, right? And she was way above his station, at least an octave above. And he's like, but she was in love with him, and he's like, yeah, she's gonna, the thought was in his head, oh yeah, she's gonna be the one. All of a sudden, she comes home, after spending time with her family for a little bit, and she's like, oh yeah, I got the shot. And he's like, oh yeah, we're done. And that's it. He's like, it's like, good for you, man. Way to go.
Yeah, that's one of my rules.
Yeah, drop the hammer.
No dating me if there's a shot.
No, you can't.
I don't mean the childhood shots that your parents got you. Okay, fine.
You can't. I don't trust.
No, can't, because it's a whole mentality. It's not the shot. It's a whole mentality.
We will not know for a while. Look, you know how that goes. With the whole bodily fluids thing. No, I'm not going to roll those dice.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay.
But it's not just that for me. It's the mentality that went with you doing it. That's the thing. It's not the bodily fluids.
I hear you on that.
All right.
Right.
All right. You ready? All right. We are going to pick up.
I'll never find love.
Who will? You'll find love. Are you kidding? You're ridiculous.
I gave it up. I'm giving it up for flat Earth right now and God. I'm just going to try to go, but it's hard. It's not easy.
Whatever. Well, actually, we'll talk about it off air. All right, so you guys choose. We're gonna go. Oh, actually, there's a few we can pick.
Let's do it. New callers.
We're gonna try. Okay, whoever.
So any callers who always have called in, we still love you. It's just that we're trying to, with the new format change, get new people interested, which is kind of the whole reason we're doing anything, right?
Look, everybody
you'll be back. Don't forget.
Everybody that's called in for years. Look, you've called in for years, but we're trying to give the brave people a chance to cut in line. Because again, if you're on the dance floor, with whoever, and somebody's like, oh my God, they've been out there forever. You don't want to cut in on them. You don't feel like you can cut in on them. Okay, let's do. Okay, by the way, Peanut, mark these if they. Okay, I'm going to pick up Grand
Look at
Junction.
a troll. Watch.
Oh, yeah, I know. Grand Junction. I'm gonna pick you up. That's gonna be
That'd be so
970. If I've talked to you before, let us know, and then we'll flag you. Okay. I'm not gonna be mean though. Okay, Grand Junction. Are you there? You listening? Grand Junction.
Yes.
Hello.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, but are you calling in from a car?
Hello? I am.
All right. There's gonna be probably a little bit
yeah.
of a delay. Go ahead.
So, long time listener, first time gotten through. Christy. Some people know me as Geeky Christy or Geeking. I wanted to call in tonight to ask if you're going to Flatoberfest, and I am really upset that you're not going. I like to pick your brain and give you a hard time.
Aw.
And DJ, we met last year in Vegas, and I hope you get to go.
All right.
And bring your lab coat. I've never met Patricia, so hello, Patricia.
Hello.
Well, you can pick Mark's brain right now on air.
It's just, well, I just have been feeling kind of isolated lately, and I'm looking so forward to being in that positive energy you were talking about earlier.
Yeah. Aw, well, that's so true. And thank you for calling, getting through. It's like when you connect with other people, flat earthers, and you get on the show, it gives you the warm and fuzzies. I mean, I'm in a position, and so I absolutely am going to do everything I can to be there and make friends with everyone and represent Strange World, and would love, obviously, if Patricia and Mark end up going, great. That would be amazing, and we'll see. But if not, then just go anyway, even if we're not there, because you're going to make new friends if you're listening, and just thank you so much for calling.
Thank you.
Oh, and the chocolates they technically weren't drugs. They were mushrooms, I think.
Right, they were. You're absolutely right. They were chocolate. They were chocolate covered mushrooms. Absolutely right. Very true.
Did you do something, Mark? Did you have a trip?
No, I didn't. Absolutely, I didn't. In fact, just to make sure, I went to my hotel room and stared at my own eyes for like a couple minutes just to see if my pupils were like losing it. And it's like
you didn't do that.
Well, I mean, I had to check. I had to be like, okay, am I good? I think it was like one of the first times ever that someone had given me mushrooms. So. Well,
it is true. Mark at these meetups, he tries to talk to every single person. He's just such a trooper.
Wow. Yeah, I know.
Very true.
My legs hurt. Okay. Anyway, I hate to do this to you, but
thank you for calling.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, and don't
not alone out there, guys. We're here watching.
Yeah.
Don't be
tune into Strange World. Your Flat Earth family is right
Our
here.
first new caller. Yay! It's working, guys.
I feel good.
All right, I'm gonna pick up. We're gonna pick up 3-1.
We're trying to be quick because we've only got 15 minutes.
Yeah, I know. 310.
We're not trying to rush people, but sort of.
Yeah, 310 out of Redondo, California. Have I talked to you before?
No, you have not. It's a new caller. It's Annie D.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, good. From Arizona. I'm always in the chat. And I've emailed you before. But I wanted to ask something of Patricia, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that is, I'm a ham radio operator. Have a ham radio license since 2002. And I have to take a test, and it was pretty easy. And I was just wondering, did you have to take a broadcasting test?
Yes, a very, very, very long time ago. I started in broadcasting in 1985. I had to get a test that had to be posted right near the engineering equipment. And I don't remember what it was, other than it was a written test with very basic things. One of the things they asked me was, do you know how to go outside and observe the towers when the pattern changes from night to day so that the towers are lit so that planes don't hit them? You had to mark that off. It was just questions like that. There wasn't anything hard about it at all. Very simple. And I had it with me as a little card for years at any station I went to. And then after a while, they stopped requiring, or at least asking, for me to show the card. And I don't have it. I don't know where it is. Probably left on the wall of some long-lost radio station.
Oh, well, that's cool. I'm just really interested in radio and stuff like that. So I was just wondering if you had to take a test. And that's about it. I think I'm going to let the next person call in, and I can just say that I called in, and that's it.
Thank you.
You have a nice voice, by the way.
Show,
If you're in, you have a nice voice for any kind of broadcasting, by the way. So.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, you have a good.
My face isn't bad either, but you know.
Good.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
Talk
Send
to
me
you
a
later.
picture. All right. We'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Bye.
Let's go seriously. Send me a picture.
Thanks for
Okay.
being
So, no, seriously though, the 978 out of Fitchburg, Massachusetts. Have we talked to you before, Fitchburg?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello.
Totally can hear you.
Oh, good. Okay, I can't tell. I'm on the phone. I don't call in much at all. I've done it a few times for some of the shows and stuff. My name's Mark, by the way.
Hey.
Mark Laputi. But anyway, 73 Marlborough online, but I'm not pushing my website. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
But anyway, the big question. Okay, Jonathan. Okay. Mark. Okay. I started with you. You were fabulous back in 2015. Okay,
Yes,
it was fabulous.
back when I was with Jonathan.
I
yes.
was looking at stuff. No, okay, Jonathan. John. Okay,
Yeah.
I dropped that name. Sorry, but
That's
anyway,
okay.
The big question is, okay, we all know it's flat, and it's been a fun journey of flatness. Okay, and all that. But if we don't know who we are or why we're here, where we are doesn't make any difference, okay? And I'm going to just let you know what it is, and it's not too big of a deal, but it is kind of a big deal. We're all angels, okay? And we're in a fallen world. So basically, we're fallen angels. We're Elohim, okay? So the point I'm trying to make is Genesis 1 is the creation of man and woman, and Genesis 2, 6,000 years ago, was the Garden of Eden. Okay? So just get that into your mind a little bit. We've been here. There was Atlantis, all kinds of crap, way before Garden of Eden. Okay? So I know it's kind of scary, and we're fallen, but there's a redemption plan, okay? And the other thing is you got to look at Bible prophecy stuff. We got Israel about to be totally destroyed. The Jews everybody in the world hates the Jews. And there's a lot of issues, obviously, with the Rothschilds and all of that stuff. But, the people that murdered Jesus, obviously are still sort of in control of the Jewish group, but not the little Jewish people. We all know a lot of Jewish people that we love, okay? God is coming back any minute now. Jesus is coming back any minute. And it's not a big deal. All you have to do to God to get to heaven is say you're sorry, and you go to heaven. You don't have to go to a religion. All religions are cults, by the way. And so that's basically the end of my story. But yeah, the earth is flat, guaranteed. It's more like a snow globe. There's a firmament.
Okay.
We're trapped in here. We got to get out of here.
I like what you had
There's
to say.
only one
Interesting.
way out.
Wonderful. Absolutely
And
wonderful.
Chris Van Maitre, the surveyor guy who used to live in Colorado but now lives in Houston, Texas, really close to where I live, he told me that as well, that we are fallen angels. He said that to me, and I thought, well, I don't know how, but the caller did explain it pretty well, whether or not we are, but that's what he said.
We're all God's children, and that's the flat Earth just puts that piece of the puzzle into does God exist? And then here's a piece of the puzzle. So you can kind of look into it more of what you believe. But I agree with a lot of what he just said. So it's exciting.
Right.
All right then. Let's go after. Boy, I'm thinking of picking up 913 out of Kansas. I don't recognize that name. Peanut will keep track of it. Let's take a look. Peanut can actually look in the background and see if 913 is called in. 913, have you called in before? Recently? 913. You got to take the mute button off, man. Got to take it off. Unless you're
rookie mistake.
Unless he's just rookie mistake. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, he's back on mute. Looking at some of the others. Yeah, it's a rookie mistake. You hate to see it.
Right.
From a rookie, but that does happen. Or again, lots of people just call in and listen. Everybody else I recognize at this point.
And we love you, but we can't.
Yeah. We're
maybe in the future, but not.
What are you talking Mark, there's thousands and thousands of callers.
Peanut. Well, yeah,
There's
but
actually quite a lot, but they're all names we recognize. 'cause we can see this on screen.
the call board can only take so many. Hey, Peanut, that 773 out of Chicago. Does that one? I'm thinking of picking that one up. I'm not.
One says looks like a troll. Is that really?
Oh no! That's no. That's Peanut's joke to somebody else.
We need a troll for the first
somebody
episode.
we know and love. You know what? I'm going to pick you up anyway. We're getting close to the
All right.
end, and then after this one, because remember, between the three of us, I mean, we're all chatterboxes. We could fill this sucker up. Oh, you know what? No, we're going to go after Lincoln, Nebraska. I don't think.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's pick up Lincoln, Nebraska. 402. Have you ever called in before? Ever? For any reason?
No, Mark. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Well, you don't sound.
Can you hear me?
You don't. Yes, I can hear you. You don't sound like the woman who's coming in on caller ID. I'm gonna have to cancel that drone strike. What's happening?
No. Are you serious? Oh, I thought you were going to hang
No,
up
I'm
on
not.
me. No,
Absolutely
it's,
not serious. Just stand still. Don't move.
No, I wanted to bust DJ's balls for sending money to Owen Benjamin today on his show, thinking that somehow he was going to get Rogan or something a message for you to go on.
You heard about
that's
this?
never happening, but
you never know.
Yeah, I watched the show or his replay or whatever.
You did?
And well, maybe, but I thought it was hilarious. I heard your name come across, and I said, "Oh my God, there he is from Strange World." So I had to call in and bust your balls from that.
You know,
yeah.
You did not. Mark doesn't know this. So
no, I don't know this.
It's in chats. I've seen it in chats today. People talking about it.
Oh my God! So I was on Owen Benjamin.
Yeah, well, I don't. Yeah, I don't think Owen or Rogan have been friends for a long time. I think probably barking up the wrong tree there. But hey, anything's possible, I suppose.
As far as interviews, look, I have always been pleasantly surprised with the ones that I was done. And if you would have bet me money a while ago, I said no. There's no way Piers Morgan's going to call me. There's no way Russell Brand people is going to call me. Jim Brewer, that was a wonderful surprise. The Philip and Holly show, why would you ever bring me out? Why would you fly me out for that one? So if Joe Rogan decides to do it, I would love. Again, I still think I'd be the nicest guy on his show, and I would make him feel so at ease. Again,
Joe Rogan lied and said he didn't think we landed on the moon, and then he changed his mind.
Well, he either changed his mind, or
I think he took the ticket.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, he took the money and the ticket on that. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
But hey, true. Mark, if you're trying to go that way, why don't you reach out to Eddie? I don't know why Hibbler thinks that you're an agent or whatever. I think that's pretty goofy.
Well,
I don't think he got it from Eddie.
Well, no.
Hibbler, but whatever.
No. Hibbler is also, and I'm not picking on Hibbler too much. He's made some amazing content. Hibbler's
super talented.
Yeah, Hibbler's an Eric Dubé guy. Eric Dubé's always been my opposing force in the community.
He just poisoned the well for several people, including me, as well as Mark, of course.
Early
on.
ODD and I have never spoken because of Eric Dubé. Hibbler and I have talked.
Besides the one time.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, besides the one time that Dubé was on Eddie's old show, as far as I know, like, do those guys, are they even still in contact anymore? I mean, that just seems like such a long time ago.
I don't even know if ODD
I don't know much of the backstory.
Makes videos anymore.
Yeah, well, ODD's, he's had to worry about jailbreaks, literally. So,
Mark, well, does the name Dennis Luca ring any bells?
Really? You gonna bring that up? Really? Really? And by the way, it's Dennis Sluka.
I was going to say.
It's Dennis Sluka. That would be my aliases, which I was being accused of. Again, rumors travel faster than truth because they're juicier, and people, the early stories were, oh no, I was a media producer for Sony, or the group out of San Diego. The guys that made my app, my early app, back before apps were even really a thing, where it was just rip off videos from my website, which I made for them. And I couldn't check that for a couple of years, which is like...
And I had the app too. They attacked both of us.
In fact, Patricia and I, what was it, Ralph Reel or Joe Reel, where Patricia and I actually had one of them on the Secret Show or Hot Potato Show, right? He was on, and as soon as he came on, people said, oh, it must be this other guy, Ralph Reel, which was his son. It's like, really? You're just going to pivot that fast? We've got the guy you're accusing me of being on the show with me. And again, people want to believe what they want to believe.
People just want to believe what they want to believe.
Yeah, and Dennis Sluka was an 80s picture kind of look-alike, but it was a few years earlier. You know, if you took a high school picture of me in 85 and this guy's picture was like 82, it kind of looked like me, but and there's, it must be him. It's like, no.
Well, the conspiracy was that Mark and I knew about Flat Earth in like, I don't know, 2011 or something.
Right.
And they being some kind of CIA or FBI, whatever, they made apps for us way back then.
Right.
And then waited until 2015 when we got into Flat Earth, and then we launched the apps. That doesn't make any sense.
No.
What apps were being made that they would make and keep hidden from like 2011?
It was
there weren't any. It makes no sense, especially with technology advancing so quickly.
Right.
You wouldn't make apps and hide them for years and then spring them on the unsuspecting public.
No.
Just would make them that minute.
No, it was a date timestamp. They were using the same template. I do the same thing. Like for the show thing, I'm using the same Word document from 4 years ago.
Yeah, people use templates all the time. It's
Yeah,
normal.
use templates all the time. And,
Chat. I got my eye on Mark Sargent. I'm gonna figure this out.
oh, please do a deep dive on me. Please do, because I doxed myself so thoroughly that I even gave out my criminal record in the very first Strange World episode.
Very true.
When I did human trafficking.
You gave everyone your.
If you guys want to take one more call, I'll jump off.
Okay. Thank
If
you.
you guys want to take one more call, I'll jump off.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking the call.
Sorry,
I
actually.
get to explain what I did. I was on Owen Benjamin's live where he's just talking to his Rumble audience, and I was super chatting, saying, "Hey, did you see the response to the Joe Rogan Netflix, retard diss?" And I posted in the chat, and I paid $15. And he called it out, and he was like, "No, I'm not reading this." And he was like, "I'm not going to take time. If you guys don't promote my show, then I'm not going to promote your show." So I do have to make a shout out to Owen Benjamin that everyone needs to watch live from Bertaria. He has a special on Rumble. Check it out. So Owen, now that we've done that, please play the 60-second clip, because we're uniting Flat Earth, and so it's fun that the Flat Earthers pay attention. So they just saw that I was on Owen Benjamin. Now they see that it's on Strange World. It's so great. I think it's hilarious.
And so many bears are Flat Earthers too. So
yeah.
And Owen Benjamin was at a Flat Earth conference.
Wait, what did you want me to run? Did you want me to run the Joe Rogan clip?
No.
Oh,
I want Owen Benjamin to run it.
Oh, okay. That's good. We won't take any more calls. Let's just run this one out.
We had a nice exchange back and forth, and I was respectful.
Well, that's wonderful.
I think it's great.
Cost me $25, but it was worth it.
Again,
that's a kind of form of flat smacking.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of flat smacking.
I mean, the fact that Owen, again, credit to David Weiss for hitting Owen as hard as he could and being there when Owen freaked out and figured out where I love his journey. That he did it live. That you could see his brain melting.
The
live.
Phases.
Yeah, the phases. It was wonderful. Wonderful.
The phases of coming to acceptance.
What was that, DJ?
His interview on Dave Weiss's app, the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app, you can watch the Owen Benjamin interview or podcast.
Yes.
Where he's starting to come to terms with Flat Earth, and it's so great. So I did thank him for that, for being such a voice for Flat Earth, and we had a good exchange. But for those who haven't seen it, go back and check it out. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I agree.
And David Weiss put out a video today about two suns that was interesting. I don't know. I thought it was cool.
Oh,
so
that reminds me.
Check that out. Make your own decisions.
I've got to do a fast Earth thing on the suns. I'll probably steal a lot from.
As long as you just don't call it the Fat Earth, which you did earlier.
I did not. I did not call it Fat Earth.
I swear.
Did I call it Fat Earth? Oh, hey, by the way, what'd you
earlier?
What'd you think? What'd you think of my decanter here?
It is pretty cool.
It's a ship in a bottle, by the way. There's
It looks nice. It looks expensive.
It is expensive.
Is that a rosé?
And no, it's whiskey.
Like whiskey.
It's
whiskey.
And this thing's got dust. I'm going to clean this thing as soon as the show's over. It's got dust on it. Well, now and a lot of fingerprints, and I've got a little silver shot thingy for.
The thing about it is that somebody took their time to make that, maybe handcrafted, and it's just a lie. That's sad.
Yeah. And again, the fact that a mental health expert would send that to me with a little wink.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're doing there.
Yeah. Thanks.
Good.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Nice. Whatever.
Well, this show has been really good with all three of us together. What do you think? What do you think? Those of you who are watching it.
Yeah. Please chat room. Let us know. What?
If you like it, put a 1 in the chat. No, if you like it, put a 3 in the chat. 3.
Yeah, put a 3 in the chat if you like the
Look at
format.
the chat right now.
If you
We
wanna,
got a couple minutes.
if you want to case, this isn't like Survivor, so where I have to pick one.
Oh my God, am I getting the chop?
Well, I could be getting the chop. I'm the least camera ready compared to you two. So
if you don't like it, don't put anything and leave immediately.
I'm only risking my life, my career, my love life, everything for this. So, there's no pay, there's no contract. I'm just here for you guys and to spread more flat earth news.
I see a bunch of 3s. Lowry, who we're going to be hearing one of his songs in a minute. Sue Finelli's got a 3. John 1-1 says 3. Let's see. Somebody's saying we didn't talk about flat earth enough. What? Okay.
What are you talking about?
Zero 1 gives us a 3. Carrie Musgrave. Hey, Bill Keith channel says he mentioned something about fat earth. So Dr. L.A. or Dr. Law 0206, Pamela Vesey, hello. She says if the Globe whiskey decanter is what looks fat. Judith says 3. Tony Coriolis. Mellowdome says 3. Oh, by the way, we're going to be on the Mellowdome channel tomorrow, Mark Sargent and I, at 4 p.m. Is that Eastern time?
Actually, it's 2 Pacific, 5 Eastern.
Okay, at 5 Eastern tomorrow, the Mellowdome channel, Mark Sargent and I, it's trivia. We are versing each other. I have no hope at all in this. So
down.
I'm going anyway. I'm going to do
easy
it.
on her, Mark.
Take one for the
Patricia
team.
kick some ass.
Mellowdome, just ask questions about cats and fashion, please.
No mercy. Okay.
Then I'll win.
It's a fast 10.
Peanut is patiently not flagging me, but we came in under the wire. So here we go.
We did it.
We will be back next week. Same flat time, same flat channel. Say good night, Patricia.
Good night, Patricia. I mean, good night, everyone. And when this video goes to Mark's channel, please put a comment if you like the show, if there's any suggestion on making it a little bit different. This is the first time with us 3 together. So go into this video if you're watching it at a later date or after it goes to YouTube and put your comment about what you think. Okay.
Wonderful. Say good night, DJ.
Good night, strange world. Thanks for all the love. Dance like nobody's watching. Live like tomorrow's the end of the last day on Earth.
And that's it. We're going to go to roll credits. We're just going to drum it out until we figure out, I don't know if I'll switch back and forth between the Skyline or not, but yeah.
Thank you, Peanut, by the way.
And thank you. Oh, yeah, Peanut, he knows.
Peanut, he didn't get enough love this episode.
Peanut's doing his Pall Mall red packs right now, right? Pall Mall red packs?
So cool.
Awesome. And here we go.
Hot Zach.
end up chasing stars all over again. There's words for what you got, what you have, and what you'll ever need. There's love so many nights, so many nights, so many ways to believe.
Paige needs to get into her PJs with her cup of cocoa and her 6 marshmallows. Night, Mark.
Almost done. We can talk during this part. I know, right? Paige, if you're listening, you're too good for him. I know. Yeah. She's like, seriously. You should thank her every freaking day.
Jack.
That's Karen.
You realize it's the same link every week. It never changes.
Yeah, I know. I should paste it somewhere, I think.
Yeah. That's Peanut yelling at me in the background. And we got the flag, which I did not know until much later that that's my face. Well, 40 pounds heavier it does. If I, had black eyes. Are you kidding? Raccoons don't have eyebrows like I do. You've seen them. You knew. That's true, and that's Soviet Union television sign off. Yeah, and then after that they flash a message. It's like, turn off your set, or we'll find you. And then my sister's dog on the beach. Not the smartest dog in the world.
Hello,
And we